Vice Mayor, if you can start making your way up. Commissioner Santiago. This time we're going to go ahead and get started with this regular commission meeting for Monday, July 21st, 2025. If I can please have the city clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Villa-Vasquez. Commissioner Colwell. Here. Commissioner Howington. Here. Commissioner Lilly.
Here.
Commissioner Santiago.
Here.
Vice Mayor Harriet.
Present.
Mayor Vila.
Here. This time, if I can please, we're going to go ahead and I'll call Mr. Monzon with Trinity Church. He's going to come and do the invocation, and then we'll do the flag right after. Please stand. Yeah. If you can please turn on your mic, and I'll turn it on over here. There you go.
All right. Thank you, by the way, City Commissioners and Mayor, for allowing me to pray, and my fellow Deltonians as well. Father, we come before you and we just ask you for your blessing and your favor, Lord. Lord, we lift up each and every city commissioner, Lord, and our mayor, Lord, as they make decisions, Lord, Father God, for our city. We pray that you would guide them with wisdom, Lord, and that you would give them discernment, Lord, to act out on the decisions that they make, Lord. Lord, we pray, Lord, for our city lawyers, Lord, that you would guide them to make the right legal decisions, Lord, as they advocate for our city, Lord. We pray for our city manager, Lord, that you would give him divine ideas, Lord, how to implement things within our city, Lord, that will benefit our city and benefit the citizens of our city. We pray, Lord, for our officers, Lord, for our sheriffs, Lord. We pray that you will protect them as they protect and serve us, Lord. We pray for each and every family in this city, Lord, and those that come and visit, Lord, that they will find a place that is welcoming, Lord, and protected by you. We pray for Deltona as a city of destiny, Lord. We decree and declare your favor over Deltona, Lord. We decree and declare your abundance over Deltona, Lord. We call upon your name as Jehovah Jireh, the Lord our provider, to provide all the needs that this city needs according to your riches in glory. We pray that you will guide every decision that we make as a city, Lord, Father God, that it will be guided for the betterment of each and every person, Lord, and that it will glorify you, Lord. We pray that your hand will be upon each and every person that is involved in city activities, that you will bless their families, Lord. We pray for the children and the future generations that would inhabit this city, Lord, that we will make wise decisions so they will have a great place to live in, Lord. And we pray above all, Lord, for unity, Lord, and for love, Lord, that it will reign over everything we do in this city so that you can receive all the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. If we can please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may all be seated. Okay, we're going to go to additions and deletions. Oh, it wasn't on here. It's okay. Yes, it's fine. We're going to go ahead and honor some of our veterans here. So if I can please have the City Commission meet me down on the floor. We're going to go ahead and call them up. Sorry, we have a new mic system. At this time, I'd like to call up David Petrain and Sean Tommen. Hopefully I said both of those right. Mr. Petrain has served in the U.S. Navy as AMS-3 aviation structural mechanic. He's gone two cruises to the Persian Gulf. And Mr. Tommen, he's a corporal with the Marine Corps. So at this time, we would like to thank both of you for your service. They're also city employees, so if we can please give them a big round of applause.
David. Thank you, sir.
We could just, that's Sean.
And then, there you
And then just stand with us and we'll take a
Thank
quick
you,
picture.
Dave, show your, there you go. Thank you, sir. On three. 1, 2, 3. One more for good luck. 1, 2, 3. Excellent.
All right, I'm going to ask the City Commission to stay here really quick. This time, I want to ask Parks and Rec if they can come up here with us. We like to honor them with a proclamation, so if staff can come up here. I want to read this proclamation, but with you guys here with us. That was a whole audience.
Tall guy in the back.
Sebastian, are they picking on you now? All right. So I'm going to read this proclamation, and then we're gonna share a video right after the proclamation, okay? So it says, whereas since 1985, America has celebrated July as the nation's official Parks and Recreation Month, and the United States House of Representatives officially mandated July as Parks and Recreation Month in 2009, and whereas Parks and Recreation promotes physical, emotional, and mental health and wellness through organized and self-directed fitness, play, and activity, and whereas Parks and Recreation facilities fosters social cohesiveness in communities by celebrating diversity, providing spaces to come together peacefully, promoting social equity, and ensuring people of all ages have access to its benefits, and whereas Parks and Recreation services amplify a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, boosting tourism, attraction, and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas we observe July as Parks and Recreation Month, the City of Deltona supports the skilled work of parks and recreation professionals who help strengthen the community and connect people with nature and each other, and provide opportunities for healthful living and environmental sustainability. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and the City Commission of Deltona, Florida, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2025 as Parks and Recreation Month, executed this 7th day of July 2025. So we want everyone to take a look at a quick video, and then we'll go to the back to take a picture with all of us together.
Every trail we walk, every tree we rest beneath, every smile shared at a community event. It's all thanks to the heart and hands of Parks and Recreation. They're the quiet heroes who turn spaces into memories, keeping our parks clean, our fields full of laughter, and our neighborhoods connected. This month, we celebrate them, because when they care for our parks, they're really caring for all of us. Thank you, Parks and Rec. You make life more beautiful, one moment at a time.
Thank you, Parks and Rec.
Thank you, Parks and Rec.
Thank you, Parks and Rec.
Thank you, Parks and Recreation, for all your hard work and everything you do.
Thanks, Parks and Rec.
Come on out, enjoy your Deltona Parks.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can please come over here where our commissioners are at, we would like to take a picture with you guys. And truly, they don't deserve, but they've earned that round of applause. So if you can give it to them as hard as you can, because these are the folks that keep our parks running. So thank you, guys. Are you gonna pick them up? Mark, are you gonna pick them up?
Yeah, you guys gotta tighten it up.
Get in close. Closer. Gary.
Hold on.
All right, at this time, we're going to go ahead and do presentation by AdventHealth Fish Memorial President and CEO, Eric Lundy. Did I say that correctly? Awesome. Not that Josh gave me a little cheat sheet, but
That's what he's here for.
welcome, Mr. Lundy.
Thank you. The room is now half as intimidating. Well, Mayor and City Commissioners, thank you so much for the opportunity to share tonight. I will take a few minutes just to share a little bit about AdventHealth Fish Memorial and just appreciate the opportunity to do so. Sometimes I get excited about what I talk about and I may not advance the slides, so if you want to see the slides advance and I don't do it quick enough, just let me know, all right? I'm going to start kind of with the macro and go to micro. And on the macro level, AdventHealth is one of the largest not-for-profit health faith-based organizations in the U.S. And we are the largest not-for-profit health system that's actually based in Florida. We actually have hospitals in over 50 states. We have over 50 hospitals in over 9 states. We just grew the United States quite big. At the heart of our organization, we have a team of 100,000 team members. And that 100,000 team members has allowed us to actually care for more than 8 million people last year alone. And we continue to expand that with the trust that was given to us. As I move in a little bit closer, if we look specifically at the East Florida Division. The East Florida Division actually includes operations in Volusia, Flagler, Lake, and soon-to-be St. Johns County. We have 7 hospitals and 2 freestanding emergency departments, one of which is right here in Deltona. On this next slide, you may recognize some familiar faces. In addition to myself, Lorenzo Brown and Rob Deininger are both former presidents and CEOs of Fish Memorial. And Rob currently oversees the AdventHealth East Florida Division, which comprises those 7 hospitals. Lorenzo Brown now has oversight for the 2 West Volusia hospitals, both Fish and DeLand, and then also AdventHealth Waterman and Tavares. Kelsey is at AdventHealth DeLand, our sister hospital in West Volusia, and she came to us via New Smyrna Beach. but she also spent some time, her initial time she spent actually at Fish Memorial. While he's not pictured here, some of you that may be longtime Deltona residents may actually remember Randy Hafner. Randy Hafner was the very first CEO for the AdventHealth Fish Memorial Hospital, and he now serves as the CEO for all of the hospitals that are in Florida, which are about 30 hospitals in total. So with that said, AdventHealth is definitely committed to Deltona, and the individuals leading a West Volusia market, as well as all the way up through Florida, have a very deep understanding of who we are and the community that we serve and the work that we do here. To share some statistics with you, this is for Fish specifically. Last year, we had the opportunity to serve just over 142,000 people. And we performed over 3,800 surgeries on those individuals. We have a team of about 1,300 team members. And among those team members, 420 of that 1,300, or 31%, are actually residents of Deltona. So 1/3 of our workforce. This workforce also includes some of our hospital leaders. At the hospital, we have a team of executives. 2 of those executives, one would be April Chilson, who's our Chief Operating Officer, and Michelle Johnson, who is our Chief Nursing Officer. They both are graduates of Deltona High School. That is truly unusual in our hospital system, and it's an awesome opportunity to share that. For the past 30 years, hundreds of thousands of patients, members of the Deltona, Orange City, and surrounding West Volusia area have trusted their care to us at Fish Memorial. We are honored to be chosen, to be given the sacred trust by the individuals that come to us every single day. One of the hardest questions that I have to answer was people say, how are things going at the hospital? It's an odd question to answer, but the best way I can describe it is, today there are more people trusting us with their care, and that speaks volumes. One of the things that I want to really ingrain into our team members when they onboard with us is this concept of sacred trust. Nobody comes to a hospital, a doctor's office, an imaging center, or a lab because something good is happening. When was the last time you called your primary care doctor up and said, hey, I've not seen you in a while, I just want to come by and say hi? Probably never. We're going to them because something's wrong and we need answers. And so the reality is that anyone that crosses the threshold of one of our facilities is coming because something's wrong. And on the other side of that threshold, they believe that there are experts who are experts, and they can and will help them. Ultimately, they want to see, they want answers, they want treatment, they want to find relief. And so that invisible exchange that takes place when somebody enters our facility is really what I call the handing off of the gift of the sacred trust. And I think that's incredibly powerful, because what that means is there are things that people trust us to do that they wouldn't normally trust other people to do. When you think about it, if we did 3,820 surgeries last year, that were people that trusted us to physically cut them open and take things out of people, or physically cut them open and put things in. That is a powerful level of trust that we don't take lightly, never have and never will. We have the trust that's given to us for patients that are going through cancer treatment, oncology treatment, and we have patients that will let us radiate their bodies and fill them with all kinds of medications to take them to the very edge of bearable life to allow them to heal. That's a powerful trust. That is something that I instill in our team members every time they come through and are welcomed into our team member family. One thing that I also want people to understand is that our everyday is somebody else's once in a lifetime. When you think about that, your days probably have a routine to them, I would think. Hospitals do as well. For the 160 plus people that we took care of today that are lying in a bed, there's a flag that got planted in their family history today. And that flag is something that they will always reference back to. You may have those types of flags in your own families. And those flags are there if you ask this question. Was that before or after mom's Alzheimer's diagnosis? Did we take that vacation before or after dad's triple bypass? Was that house that we moved into, did we move into the house before or after our daughter broke her arm? Those are those flags that get planted, and they stay in that family history forever. That is something that happens in our facility. Nobody saves up their money to come to the hospital because they want to. They come because they have to. And we want to be there to care for them with the deep respect that is deserving. This goes without saying that Florida is growing quickly. Florida has been recently named the fastest growing state by the U.S. Census Bureau, and we're experiencing that in Volusia County as well. We are Volusia County's largest private sector employer, and we employ nearly 8,000 individuals in Volusia County. We continue to meet the area's growing population. We've opened a state-of-the-art center for education and simulation here in West Volusia. With the facility's 5 classrooms and 2 simulation labs, we have the ability to provide hands-on training for more than 4,000 nurses and medical professionals. We also continue to expand care and access to care. This includes the introduction of something new called aquablation therapy. We at FISH are the first hospital in Volusia County to offer this minimally invasive treatment to relieve symptoms of enlarged prostate without any incision or heat. And we continue to bring new physicians to the community as well. General surgeons, vascular surgeons, GI physicians, urologists. But beyond the care, the physical care that we provide, we also partner with the community. And Advent is more than just a healthcare partner. Ultimately, for me and my team, we can't just do what we do in the hospital. We've got to care for people outside the 4 walls of the hospital. And so it takes a village to create that lasting change. You can see on the screen some of the key partners they work with. This is just a few of them. This is by no means all of them. And as a not-for-profit health system, AdventHealth invests our resources back into providing vital services to our communities. The next slide actually shows some of the national recognitions that not just locally, but this is for AdventHealth as a whole. And we recognize that our culture is robust and we have to be a great place to work in order to be a great place to practice medicine, in order to be a great place for you to receive care. When we bring this down again more locally to West Volusia, we can see just some of the awards on here. Leapfrog A, help notice that in the top left corner. This is actually an A safety hospital grade rating given by the Leapfrog Group. It's a non-profit national group that looks at over almost 3,000 hospitals and recognizes their hospital safety. Fish Memorial has earned 20 straight A's since 2016, one of the longest running streaks actually in the region. Fish Memorial and all the hospitals in Volusia County have also been recognized by the American Heart Association and the American Stroke Association for the exceptional care that we provide. We also have received the prestigious Pathway to Excellence designation from the American Nurses Credentialing Center, and there's less than 200 healthcare organizations worldwide that actually receive that designation. Part of what makes us also a nationally celebrated employer is our culture. We like to recognize our employees and celebrate with them. Whether it's Nurses Week or Hospital Week or EMS Week, we want to make sure that we're recognizing and continuing that robust culture and developing that culture for our team members. Our top-rated clinical care, combined with our culture, actually makes us a place where we can care for every member of our community, whatever they need us. This includes our community's most vulnerable, like Jessica. And as I close, I just want to share a little bit about Jessica's story with you. Her story vividly displays the impact we focus on providing for every patient. A cancer diagnosis can be life-changing for anyone. But for Jessica of Orange City, it came with an additional challenge because she was also experiencing homelessness. Jessica's diagnosis required treatment, medication, and an extended hospital stay at Fish Memorial, where she actually met Vincent, who was our care management care navigator. Vincent helps the uninsured and underinsured patients get the care they need after leaving the hospital. Now, Vincent made a unique connection with Jessica because he too was homeless and living out of his car at one point in time. And because he'd walked in her shoes, he could truly understand her struggles. His focus was to take care of the clinical side, the doctor's appointments, and the other care, so that so Jessica could focus on actually getting better. And getting better she did. And we are grateful for that. As a nonprofit organization, because we have no shareholders to pay, every decision we make and every dollar we earn is reinvested into making our communities healthier. And this story is a story that plays out time and again at each of our hospitals as we serve as a reminder why we do what we do. We serve with compassion and purpose, and we make a real difference in people's lives. So as I conclude, I do want to just say thank you. Thank you to the City of Deltona for allowing us to participate and partner with you in the Back to School Bash. I saw the sign on the side of the road coming in. I saw the screens as I walked in the door as well. So we're really excited to help sponsor this year's Book Corner. early childhood literacy is critical, and we are huge supporters of that. I was a teacher for about 6 or 7 years, and I remember hearing one of the superintendents say one time, Eric, he said, the reality is children, when they're in school, up through grades 1 or 2, they're learning to read because they need to be able to read to learn from then on. And so literacy is such a critical component for us, and so for us to participate in that with you is a real gift and pleasure, and so I thank you for that. Thank you so much for the time. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
All right, hold on.
All right.
Commissioner Santiago, and then Vice Mayor Harriet.
Yeah.
You're on.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Lundy, I just wanted to personally say thank you so much for your support to the Back to School Fair. It means a lot to this community to get the children, our students ready to get back to school in a positive way with some supplies, and especially teaching them the importance of reading. So each child will be able to leave that day with a book in their hand. So thank you so much for your support and your commitment to our community. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Vice Mayor Harriet. Vice Mayor Harriet.
Mr. Lundy, I want to thank you, first of all, for being a good community partner, for partnering with the city, for partnering with the community. Second of all, I want to thank you on behalf of our neighbors. We got the call that no neighbor wants to hear the other day that it was as simple as, can you come let the dogs out? But it was followed with, we're on the way to the ER. And we talked to them later that evening, and they went to fish and had the absolute best experience. They were in, they were triaged quickly, they were out by the evening. And so for that, I want to thank you on behalf of our community and our neighbors. So,
You're very welcome, and I'll be passing that on to the team as well.
Thank you very much.
That, so you're welcome.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. Just trying to get the name of the organization, but he beat me to it. But thank you for the presentation. And, I had the honor to serve in one of the boards, and that's the one I was trying to get the name for. But it was with Debbie and with Ida.
Debbie and Ida, yes. Community Health Needs Assessment?
Yes. I think I was with them for about 2 years. I had a lot of fun, and it was, like you said, concentrating on the different cultures. And my assignment was to identify where the Hispanic community needed the most needs from AdventHealth, and what else could AdventHealth add to what already existed to make the services better for the Hispanic community. So it was a good time. I miss it, but I had to resign for personal reasons. But thank you so much for the presentation. And like you said, there is a memory because, I have family there. So thank you for everything and for the services.
And we appreciate your service in that capacity as well. Thank you so much.
Mr. Lundy, I know Josh is looking at me like, is he going to ask the Children's Hospital question? But I'm not, I promise. Actually, I want to thank you guys. A couple of years ago, we set off on a mission with the Mayor's Fitness Challenge. Obviously, it's a national thing, so we didn't invent that. But you guys were kind enough to jump in there and help be a big supporter of that. And I can attest, I've lost like half a person. So it's great. It keeps the community active. A lot of people look forward to it. Good. We've started doing the Warrior Run, which we've kind of upped the challenge, and now we've made it a lot more challenging. But one of the questions that I have been getting asked from actually a couple of mainly veterans, and you probably will know why, is AdventHealth looking at any point to invest in a hyperbaric oxygen therapy or chamber?
We do have those available. Let me get back to you with that.
Okay.
Because yes, we do have those available, and I need to see what we have available on campus.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Take care. All right, this time I will ask Ms. Barker if she can come up to start with Deltona Community Events. You want to turn on the mic?
Sorry about that. Okay, so we have a few things coming up over the next couple weeks. The first one, which was just mentioned, is our Back to School Bash. So this is our annual backpack giveaway on steroids. There are, we're going to be doing the backpack giveaway, of course, with school supplies, but then there's going to be water slides and bounce houses and touch-a-truck and just tons of fun, free haircuts for the kids. So just, it's a way to make back to school even, more fun, more exciting for the kids. It's August 2nd at Dewey, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So this is a free event for the community, so it's going to be a ton of fun. And then the concert at the amphitheater that was canceled this month because of the weather, it's been rescheduled for the 16th of August. So that's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Again, if you've never been to one of these concerts, it really is a lot of fun. So join us. And then I do want to just make some announcements about the open volleyball. There's been some rule changes. So now we're doing it on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesdays is going to be for the kids, kids under 16, and then, or 16 and younger, I should say. And then on Thursday is for 17 and above. So I know this is a really popular program. I get a lot of questions about the volleyball program. So again, if you like to play volleyball, stop by anytime and join a game. And that's what we have coming up in the next couple weeks. If anybody ever has any community events, email me, cbarker@deltonafl.gov.
Thank you, Ms. Barker. This time we're going to go to new business. If I can please have the city attorney read 7A.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The Finance Department is going to do a group presentation, so I can either read all of these items into the record at once and then take a vote one by one, or we can move step by step, whichever is the pleasure of the commission.
I think we're going to do it just as it's here, so we'll do one by one.
Excellent. So our first item is resolution number 2025-84, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deltona, Florida, adopting a proposed operating millage rate of ad valorem taxation for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, determining the rollback rate, authorizing a public hearing, and directing provision of notice thereof, providing for scrivener's errors and an effective date.
All right, at this time I entertain a motion so we can begin discussion. Commissioner Santiago?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 2025-84.
I'll entertain a second.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Harriet. We're going to go right into public comment, and then we're going to go to each commissioner, and we'll hear from Mr. McKinney. Okay. Mr. McKinney?
Mayor, Commission.
Hold on. You have to push your mic.
Mayor, Commission. How are y'all?
Good.
Okay. I'm going to go through just a few quick slides as we get into the maximum millage. The first thing I just wanted to point out, just so we've talked about it at a couple of meetings, here's on the city website, everything from February 3rd to current regarding the budget process. You can find it going to our homepage, departments, finance department, budget documents, fiscal year 25-26. Everything that I brought up before the commission is on this webpage. As a follow-up to last week's commission meeting, and everything I have on here, except for the slide I just showed you and a couple others, is exactly from last week's budget workshop. Bureau of Labor Statistics provided their June numbers. It's gone up to 2.3%, a sharp increase over the prior month. And if you can see from the diagram there, you can see it's starting to take a pretty sharp increase going back up. Only thing, if you read what was provided by BLS, is it's attributed to tariffs and other items that have affected everything that we're purchasing. Again, just a reiteration, it's only been in the last 5 years that we've seen a increase in our taxable value, so that the average taxable value of a single-family residence here in Deltona is just under $123,000. As stated, we just provided the breakdown of our blocks by single-family parcels that are paying little to no tax, and where our blocks are. So you can see that the majority of the homes within Deltona are valued at the $194,000 to just under $500,000 mark. Historically, over the last few years, the City Commission has adopted the maximum millage that was done in July at the final public hearing in September, with the exception in fiscal year 17 and last fiscal year, the current fiscal year. So you can see that historically, the max millage does wind up being the adopted millage, but as we talked about last week, that's not the case for this coming fiscal year. Again, you can see the trend that over the last 10 years, the millage rate has in fact been decreasing, from an overall number perspective. Okay, so I will just read in a few items for the agenda regarding the maximum millage. This is to discuss the maximum millage rate. The City of Deltona fiscal year 26 budget, which commences on October 1st, 2025 and continues through September 30th, 2026. The maximum millage is a starting point for this year's budget process that will culminate as part of the tentative and final millage budget hearings in September. The maximum millage is necessary to generate ad valorem proceeds to fund the fiscal year 2026 tentative budget for the City of Deltona. The current 2025 gross taxable value for operating purposes is $5,671,597,678. The 6.95 mil is the city manager's recommended maximum millage rate. This maximum recommended millage represents a 6.12 increase over the rollback rate. The current working budget is balanced on a working millage of 6.75 mils. This current working millage represents a 3.06% increase over the rollback rate. Staff will continue to work with the departments on their operating budgets and continue to review all outstanding revenue items to address any future changes leading up to the first and second public hearing. The city managers recommends a maximum millage of 6.95 only as a starting point.
Thank you. Is there anybody that has any questions or discussions? No? If we can please vote.
Mayor.
Go ahead, Commissioner Avila-Vasquez.
Yes, just to clarify, we're voting on
To approve,
to approve 6.95?
to approve the maximum millage 7, correct?
7.
Oh, 6.95 for the trim notification. Motion passes 4-3. Right, if I can please have the city attorney read 7B.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-79, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deltona, Florida, relating to the provision of stormwater utility services, facilities, and programs in the City of Deltona, establishing the estimated assessment rate for stormwater utility services for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025, authorizing the city manager or designee to transmit the estimated assessment rate for stormwater utility services, facilities, and programs for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025 to the Office of the Property Appraiser for inclusion on the trim notice, authorizing a public hearing and directing provision of notice thereof, providing for conflicts, severability, scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
This time I'll entertain a motion for discussion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Vice Mayor Harriet. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Santiago. Is there any public comment?
Tim Blodgett, please.
green light, go. Okay, the stormwater problem that we got here is ongoing, and it's just going to keep on going until we do something about it. I really loved Florida since the time I was a little kid. I loved that you could go down the highway and there was a rainstorm on one side of the highway and perfectly dry on the other. I had never seen so many rainbows as when I came to Florida. And unfortunately, it wasn't, I always loved how you'd have a torrential rainfall and 10 minutes later it was bone dry outside. Now, I thought all this was the natural beauty of the place, and then I found out there was a drawback to it. The drawback was, unfortunately, some people get flooded. And the problem with the flooding is, once everything dries out, they forget that it flooded. We can't do that. At the very least, it devaluates the town, gives us a bad name. That's why I'm all for whatever we can do. I want to see a MIMSY and two MIMSYs in every garage, a backflow preventer on every house. I want to see freshwater plants that take the street runoff, make it pure as snow, and pump it back into the aquifer, and all the things that we're going to have to be doing in the future. So, I vote yes.
Does that end public comment? All right. Mr. McKinney, and then we'll, did you have anything to say for this? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Mayor. As you can see from the 10-year historical stormwater assessment, we just haven't been keeping up with our cost of operating capital and CIP. So in 2023, the city commissioned a study to look at our stormwater utility rates. It came back last year. It was approved by commission in June that it was to increase over the next 5 years to $250. The original request from this consultant was that for this year it was to be increased to $200. Staff took a look at it, with the CIP that's currently ongoing. We felt comfortable to keep it at $190 to defer that portion of CIP into the next fiscal year. So it's staff recommendation to notice the maximum stormwater assessment to be $190 for fiscal year 25-26.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. Is this the, where you're gonna be raising it, $20 every year until we get to the required minimum that we need?
Yes, ma'am. As it's indicated on the screen, for the next fiscal year, it'd be $190, and each year thereafter until fiscal year 29 would increase $210, $230, and $250.
Okay, because I received a call and they were a little bit confused because they're thinking that this year is going to be $190 and next year we're going to raise it $210 on top of the $190 and then $230 on top of the other balance. So I just wanted to make sure that we clarify that it's $20 a year
That is correct.
on the balance,
Yes, ma'am.
not the full balance on top of the previous balance.
No, ma'am. It is exactly $20 per fiscal year increase for the next 4 fiscal years.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, can we please vote? Motion passes 5-2. This time, if I can please have the city attorney read 7C.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-80, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deltona, Florida, relating to the provision of solid waste collection and disposal services in the City of Deltona, authorizing the city manager or designee to transmit the estimated assessment rate for solid waste collection and disposal services, facilities, and programs for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025, to the Office of the Property Appraiser for inclusion on the trim notice. authorizing a public hearing and directing provision of notice thereof, providing for conflicts, severability, scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
This time I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Avila-Vasquez, do you want to do a motion? No, I don't have a motion. Okay. Anybody?
I'll make a motion.
You have to click.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, there's a motion by Vice Mayor Harriet. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Santiago. Is there any public comment? Okay, Mr. McKinney, and then we'll go to the commissioners.
Same situation, Mayor, as with stormwater. We've not been increasing the annual assessment over the life of the contract with Waste Pro. We just can no longer keep it at the same rate without incurring a transfer from the general fund, which would be an increase in potential millage rate. And so at this time, we're only asking for a maximum of $275 per year for a single-family residential unit. We don't feel that it will reach that, sir, but looking at other communities, $275 is less than what's being passed locally.
Commissioner Avila-Vasquez, and just a reminder for the other commissioners, if you want to speak, just hit the little speaking button, and then we're not using the iPads anymore. Go ahead, Commissioner Avila-Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. So an agreement hasn't been reached.
No, ma'am, we are very close. We feel that we will probably, when we meet with them this week, conclude negotiations with Waste Pro.
And what you're saying is you're aiming for 275?
Maximum, that's the absolute ceiling. We're hoping it comes in under that.
And you're matching that with OC, Orange City? I mean, are you looking to?
We cannot compare Orange City with that of Deltona. Orange City's, of their total solid waste, over half of it is from commercial customers versus we have predominantly residential customers. There's a lot of differences between Deltona and Orange City and even DeBerry. The average tonnage picked up at a single-family residence here in Deltona is greater than any other local municipality.
Okay, and that's exactly what I was looking for, because I know I've heard people saying, the Orange City pays less and this and that, but they have less residents than we do.
Less residents and their commercial customers support the residential user.
Correct. All right, thank you very much. I'm sorry, when do you foresee, Mayor, when do you foresee to close the contract?
Hopefully this Thursday, coming back before commission for a renewed contract with Waste Pro, the second meeting in August.
So why are we approving this before the contract is signed?
If you might recall, I came before you in June in order to save money, $30-something thousand in mailing costs. This is allowing us tonight to put this on the trim notice so that we don't have to incur any additional cost to the city.
Okay, so the max is going to be 275, but it could be less.
I am anticipating less than 275, yes, ma'am, based on our conversation with the negotiating team of Waste Pro.
Thank you.
Commissioner Colwell.
This will come back to a final vote for us.
The second meeting in August, you will vote on the contract. September 15th, it is slated to vote on the final assessment rate for all the assessments we're talking about this evening.
Because 275 seems a little high. How are we negotiating the new contract without Redmond involved?
Very successfully. The city managers and deputy city manager, I feel, have done a phenomenal job in negotiating with the team of Waste Pro.
All right, thank you.
Can we please vote? Motion passes 4-3. This time we're going to go to 7D. If I can please have the city attorney read 7D.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-81, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deltona, Florida, relating to the provision of street lighting services, facilities, and programs in the City of Deltona, authorizing the city manager or designee to transmit the estimated assessment rate for street lighting services, facilities, and programs for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025, to the Office of the Property Appraiser for inclusion on the trim notice, authorizing a public hearing and directing provision of notice thereof, providing for conflicts, severability, scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
This time I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Vila Vasquez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Harriet. Is there any public comment? Mr. McKinney?
Mayor, Commission, this is 100% pass-through of actual cost as discussed last week. No further comment.
Okay, can we please vote? Or hold on. Commissioner Lully, just keep in mind that we're not using the iPad, so go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quick to confirm, and I meant to ask you this before the meeting. Originally was created, it was resident driven? Was someone asked for it? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Go ahead, City Clerk. Mine's not up. It's fine, I vote yes. Motion passes 7-0. If I can please have the city attorney read 7E as in Edward.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-82, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deltona, Florida, relating to the provision of aquatic weed control services for Lake McGarity, authorizing the city manager or designee to transmit the estimated assessment rate for aquatic weed control services for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025, to the Office of the Property Appraiser for inclusion on the trim notice, authorizing a public hearing and directing provision of notice thereof, providing for conflicts, severability, scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
This time I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Vila Vasquez, second by Vice Mayor Harriet. Is there any public comment? Mr. McKinney?
Mayor, Commission, again, same thing. This is a pass-through of costs. I just want to point out that the cost in this case is less than what's collected, so there's fund balance, so we're able to reduce from $60 to $30 next year. No additional comments.
All right, can we please,
Lake McGarity is in.
go ahead.
Lake McGarity is in Commissioner Vila Vasquez district, or your district. Okay.
All right, can we please vote? Motion passes 7-0. This time, if I can please have the city attorney read 7F.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-83, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deltona, Florida, relating to the provision of nuisance abatement services, establishing the estimated assessment rate for nuisance abatement services for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025, authorizing the city manager or designee to transmit the estimated assessment rate for abatement for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025 to the Office of the Property Appraiser for inclusion on the trim notice, authorizing a public hearing and directing provision of notice thereof, providing for conflicts, severability, scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
This time I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Vila Vasquez, I heard first. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Colwell. Is there any public comment? All right, Vice Mayor, you were on the board.
I'm good.
Okay. Nobody's on the board now. If we can please vote. Motion passes 7-0. This time we're going to go to the consent agenda, and before we go to public comment, I do like to pull E as in Edward and F. Is there anything else that any commissioners would like to pull before I go to public comment? Right, is there any public comment on all the other letters except E and F?
Yeah, Tim Blodgett, please.
Pulling E as in Edward and F as in Frank. 8, consent agenda. There you go.
Are we talking about equipment replacement or the pavement markings, or both?
What I pulled?
Next, that was the next section. E and F are the overlays, the Deltona Wild and the Activity Center overlay.
Oh, okay. I didn't put in for public comment for that. APC.
Request for city manager approve. Yes, you wanted to talk. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
about
ahead.
the vehicles. Oh, okay. I really don't have a problem with replacing the vehicles, but in reading the ordinance that you got there, it says that we have a city vehicle and equipment replacement policy, number CW 10-30, of, we replace vehicles at 7 years, 100,000 miles. Now, for a gas vehicle like the Maverick, that's perfectly plausible. And today, that would be a fairly decent little truck to get your hands on, because over the last 20 years, they've made vehicles so that they last a lot longer. Oh, you got a big smile on your face. You want one? Okay, but an F-250 at 100,000 miles, that's a gift. You can get 300,000 or 400,000 miles out of those things. It's got a diesel engine. That's why New York buses are running like 3 and 4 million miles during their service lifetime. So here's my point. You might want to take a look at that policy for replacement and differentiate between gas-powered vehicles and diesel-powered vehicles, because it seems like we could extend the lives on those things a whole lot longer, or you can get me started in my used truck business. And that's all, folks.
Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve A through D and G on the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve all items minus E and F.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Harriet, and I believe there's a second by Commissioner Santiago. All right. And Vice Mayor, you were on the board?
I was just going to make the motion.
Okay. Could we please vote? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, I couldn't see it. City Attorney?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-76, a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, extending zoning in progress to establish the Keep Deltona Wild Overlay District to encourage low-impact residential development, protect environmentally sensitive lands, preserve biodiversity, preserve and encourage agrarian communities, and promote ecotourism and agritourism activities within certain unique areas of the City of Deltona, determining that applications for development orders and development agreements shall be subject to this zoning in progress, providing for legislative findings, recognizing zoning in progress, providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
Okay. At this time, I guess we'll entertain a motion. Yeah. Commissioner Lully, you want to go ahead and get started?
Yes, Mayor, I hereby move to approve resolution number 2025-76.
There's a motion by Commissioner Lully, second by Commissioner Avila Vasquez. Do we have any public comment on any of this? Go ahead.
Lori Warnicki, please.
Good evening. My name's Lori Warnicki, and I'm part of the Collins community, and I feel strong about this, supporting this item. I live on a large parcel, 3 acres plus. I feel that we are our own stormwater. We take care of our own stormwater. We recoup the aquifer. I feel that Deltona needs to save some of the larger parcels and protect them. And I think this is a good start, and I would appreciate if you could extend the study. Thank you very much.
That ends public comment.
Okay. So Commissioner Lully, again, you're on the iPad, but we're using the other board. Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Lully.
Wait, or Okay, here we go. We love our microphones. Yes, I just encourage everyone to support this resolution so we can keep this going. I have a meeting scheduled with planning and the consultant, I believe, next week. I can only go out 24 hours in advance, so I'm thinking it's next week. I'll have to consult the calendar to get more information then. And speaking with legal, there's approaches to this that don't put us in conflict with other legislation that may have been passed in other places, regardless if that legislation truly impacts this or stays in place. There are other means and methods to go about this. So looking forward to continuing the discussion and presenting something great to this commission here sometime in the next 120 days.
Okay, so I pulled it for, obviously I pulled both of them, including the one that I worked really hard on as well, which was the activity center overlay. How are they both impacted by SB 180?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So both the current item and the following item are not directly impacted by SB 180 in that the zoning in progress itself is not a development order or development code under the meaning of SB 180. However, the resulting regulations do need to take into account the effects of SB 180. So SB 180 prohibits more restrictive or burdensome codes and or comprehensive plan amendments. So we've had a discussion with the consultants and with your planning staff regarding this, and have developed somewhat of a strategy that would incentivize the types of developments that both items are looking to achieve versus providing a restrictive or burdensome framework. Of course, we're still working through that, and we don't have a code to present to you tonight, which is why we're asking for that extension. But it is certainly our goal from legal and your planning staff's goal that whatever we present to you would be legally defensible and would be within the confines of the law.
So here's a question. So we technically have a moratorium on the books, correct?
That is correct.
So why are these two zoning overlays needed if there's technically a moratorium on the books? Because the moratorium is stopping what the overlays in essence are trying to prevent, correct?
That is correct. You all could decide to remove these or decline to extend these zonings in progress, and staff could still continue its work.
Correct.
I would also state that the moratorium is a development order. It is an enacted ordinance and could potentially be subject to challenge. We're still within the challenge period. So if that challenge were to be successful or the commission were to decide to repeal it, these could still stand in that case.
Thank you. Commissioner Howington, and then Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
So if we were to move forward and create code from Keep Deltona Wild, would that be consistent with the comp plan that we had as of July of 2024?
That is our intent.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm a little confused with this SB 180. I went to an event with some of representatives, and the first question that was posed to them was the SB 180. The answer that was given by every single one of them is totally different than what we, or at least I, understand that to be, the SB 180 to be. And maybe this is not the time to bring it up, but I just want to pass it over by you, and I forgot to do this while I would talk to you, but their answer was the reason why they voted for it was because it's only to protect those homes that were flooded by the hurricane. So anyone whose homes were destroyed could not be denied the process of fixing their homes. That's what they explained. A couple of us were there, somebody in the audience was there. So I'm sitting there and my mind is like, what is it really? What is SB 180? What is it really? You know, if it's what they're saying, that is just to protect those homeowners that were affected by the hurricane. And SB 180 is not supposed, is to not allow any city to stop these people that were affected from fixing their homes, or if their home was totally destroyed, rebuilding their home. It's like totally different than the definition of the SB 180 we're being told.
I think that what I was not present, so I can't speak to what occurred. It seems like the legislators that you spoke with are talking about legislative intent versus what has been the practical effect. Certainly, we're happy to meet with those legislators or other legal teams, and talk.
Well, you could be with ours, Representative Barnaby. Yeah, he's the first one that answered the question in that manner. So, I mean, we just need to get clarification on this. Is it just one home that this SB 180 is protecting? Is it subdivisions the way we're understanding?
There are two sections of SB 180 that speak.
Well, that other section wasn't explained at that session.
I think it was not. I think that's what happened. We were not there, but obviously we've heard about what happened there. We have to hope that the legislatures did not understand what they were doing, and that certainly they wanted to pass a single subject bill. But what this bill effectively does is preempt cities such as Deltona. And Section 18 and Section 28 of the bill and the statute do two different things. You are correct that one of them does speak exactly to homes that are impacted, but there's another section that also speaks to moratoriums. And we've talked about this at length, and that is not limited to homes that were damaged. It's everything in an affected area. And when the National Hurricane Center does its designations, I mean, the bill specifically says in a federal disaster declaration located entirely or partially within 100 miles of the track of a storm. I mean, I'm a Floridian. I've lived here my whole life. Pretty much at some point during the track, almost the whole state is in the track. So if you're within 100 miles of the track and you live in Florida, that's Florida. So perhaps, and let's hope it was an error. Let's hope that they didn't understand and they intended it to be single subject and they intended it to only be for homes that were damaged. That would be very helpful. But because there are two different sections that speak to this topic, I don't know why they didn't. Maybe they don't understand. Maybe they don't know. I don't know why they didn't tell you. I'm going to guess because it's not terribly popular. People aren't thrilled with preemption. People aren't thrilled that, I mean, effectively this was a poison pill that was like buried in this legislation dressed up as an emergency bill. So I don't know why. I'm guessing that's why though.
All right, but thank you anyway. But there was about 100 people. It was just not. I didn't have a one-on-one conversation. It was explained to the whole audience that was there. But thank you.
All right, can we please vote?
I'm sorry, can we have the motion again, please?
Say that again.
Can we
Go ahead.
Can we have the motion again?
There was a motion by Commissioner Lully, and it was seconded by you, Commissioner Avila Vasquez,
To the extension.
to approve the extension.
Thank you.
The motion passes 6-1. If I can please have the city attorney read F.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-77, a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, extending zoning in progress to study and amend the activity center overlay permitted uses, mix of uses, density, intensity, and architectural design to establish a walkable mixed-use environment that includes a diverse mix of retail, dining, lodging, and housing options, determining that applications for development orders and development agreements shall be subject to the zoning in progress, providing for legislative findings, recognizing zoning in progress, providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. Item 7F.
Motion by Vice Mayor Harriet, second by Commissioner Santiago. Is there any public comment? Okay. Commissioner Howington?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Jordan, we had spoken about this earlier today, correct? And sorry, not George, Zach. I'm looking at one and thinking of the other, sorry. So, Zach, we had spoken about this one, and I'd asked the question about if this went to code, would this, as it's written, be considered to be more restrictive or burdensome as it is today?
So it is the zoning in progress as written provides for both study and amendment of existing regulation. As previously discussed in public hearing, the outcome appeared that it could be more restrictive or burdensome. However, in the light of SB 180 and as discussed on the previous item, it is the intent to provide a code that is consistent with the 2024 comprehensive plan and is legally defensible and consistent with the provisions of SB 180.
So with that, the expectation, from what I understand, would be to offer incentives to get developers to build what we want versus what they want.
That is one tactic. We are still, of course, working through this with the consultant. And incentives can take many forms. It can be, a change to design regulations. It can take really any menu of options that the board approves.
And then this applies to the entire area between Amazon all the way over to Halifax, correct?
The zoning in progress, yes. We are still working with the consultant to determine if there may be a division of sub-areas or anything else that occurs in the code amendment.
So would this be sort of assuming that the majority of that land between Amazon and Halifax would be downtown? Because that's a rather large area to be applying an overlay to when we have most of our industrial down at the far end towards Amazon.
So this is, to clarify, the zoning in progress is not to establish a new overlay. It is to study the existing overlay. So there could, again, we're not to that stage with the study and with the consultant yet to where we know exactly what will occur. However, there could be a smaller area of the entire activity center designated for these certain types of uses. It could be an overall change to the entire area. We just simply don't know that at this time.
I guess I'm still not seeing the purpose of this versus the overlay that we've had in place for 20 years. It just seems like it's extra work for no reason, but thank you.
It's very apparent, but we'll go to Vice Mayor Harriet, then Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. I think it's just important, and I want to put this out there. The reason I voted yes on the last item is because it is just as important for our city to have communities with rural character as it is to have areas of our city that are designed to be walkable. And so for the same purpose as that I supported the last one, because this is looking at what can be done. This is looking at how we can accomplish that goal of keeping rural character. I think it's also important that we look and understand what we can do to improve walkability within the current activity center. And I think it's important to clarify, and if staff can confirm, we're not adding to the activity center. We're not creating a new activity center. We are just making an edit to the current activity center, correct?
Vice Mayor, you are correct. At this point, we're just studying the activity center.
We're studying the current activity center to see what we could possibly do, what our options look like to create walkability within the current activity center.
We're going to be looking at all the uses, industrial, residential, commercial.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And I think I want to reiterate that just as important as it is for our community to have rural character, it is also important for our community to have walkability and shopping districts and further enhance the activity center that we currently have. So this isn't making any decision. It's just extending staff time 120 days to look into it. Thank you.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. So that was one of my questions. This is just to extend your study, right? And then a question that, a word that came up, this has not been identified as downtown Deltona. Am I correct?
I believe the consultant for the comprehensive plan will be conducting a workshop with the commission that will talk more in depth regarding what are downtowns or activity nodes, or a term that they've used. This is a study, and this, whatever you would like to call it, it could be a downtown, an entertainment district, it could be nothing. It could be, whatever the commission decides.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Smith was just showing me August 25th will be the workshop regarding that in the context of the comprehensive plan.
Thank you.
The only thing I'm going to add is, again, we have a quote-unquote moratorium in place, so I don't know why we need overlays. We can continue doing all these overlays or all these negotiations with consultants without the need for any of the overlays. So just my 2 cents. City Clerk, you wanted to say something?
He just mentioned that the comp plan was going to be discussed the end of July. It's not. It's actually being pushed out till probably October, after the next fiscal year, or when that fiscal year starts.
October?
Okay.
It's being pushed out to...
It hasn't been set in stone yet. We had some other things we had to jumble around, some topics, so.
Okay. Commissioner Caldwell, I see that you're on the mic.
Well, that was going to be my question. If we're going to have this meeting next week, then why wouldn't we table this till after that meeting? Is it imperative that this gets voted on tonight? But if the meeting's not going to be till October, I guess that changes things.
Yeah, if I can clarify, not, and I may have misspoken, August 25th.
She said
not
October.
which. Yeah, which I believe the manager and the clerk will discuss regarding final scheduling on that matter.
And that's just a workshop.
And that's just the workshop, that's correct.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor and there's a second. If we can please vote. Motion fails 3-4. So we're going to go to the next one.
Well,
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Mayor, if the motion on the floor fails, would anybody like to make a motion to cancel that item? Or does it cancel
It
automatically?
cancels automatically.
Just sunsets automatically because the time ran out?
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. City Attorney, you wanted to say something?
I was going to respond to the Vice Mayor's question, but I can stay on for the next item if you're ready.
Yeah, that one's done. Okay, we're going to go ahead and enter a quasi-judicial process at this time, so, no?
We already approved G. We approved that part of consensus.
It's all been approved.
Yep, I approved all.
All right, let's go ahead, City Attorney. Believe it or not, I take notes. It's right here. I got it.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Please be advised that the following item on the agenda is quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment upon this item, please indicate that you would like to address it when the announcement regarding the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made after the applicant and staff have made their presentation on each item. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to be either cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the commission to ask questions on their behalf. The full agenda packet on each item is hereby entered into the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the city clerk. At this time, commissioners must disclose any ex parte communications concerning items on the agenda.
All right, I'll start with Commissioner Santiago. Any ex parte communication?
No, Mayor.
All right, Commissioner Avila Vasquez, any ex parte communication?
None.
All right, Commissioner Howington, any ex parte communication?
I spoke with Doc, Robin, and Jessica in preparation for the meeting.
Go ahead, Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Okay, I'll take it back. I spoke to Zach today about it.
Mayor.
Got it. Got for clarification, Commissioner Santiago did as well. Commissioner Colwell. Hold on, you have to click on the thing so I can, go ahead.
No, I have not.
All right, Commissioner Ali.
Mayor, I have nothing new other than the previously reported conversations with the site developer for Dutch Brothers. Thank you.
Okay. Vice Mayor Harriet.
I have no new ex parte.
And I have no new ex parte as well, so.
Thank you. At this time, I will swear in any person who wishes to testify on any quasi-judicial item. Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you hereby swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? You may be seated.
All right, Mr. Smith, you're up with the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. So before you is ordinance number 14-2025, an amendment to the Halifax Crossing MPUD. It is located along Halifax Crossing Boulevard, east of UF Halifax Health. As you may recall, this site was originally approved in 2014 as a BPUD, Business Unit Development, with a transportation cap of 17,415 daily external trips. In 2022, it transitioned to a mixed-use PUD to reflect a broader development vision, including residential, commercial, and medical facilities, while retaining the trip cap and required infrastructure improvements. On the screen right now is the land use comparison with the current MPUD that was approved back in 2022 and the proposed amendment. The commercial acreage, for the proposed amendment, the commercial acreage is 58 acres. The multifamily acres is 35. Multifamily units is 550, and the age restricted is 300. The total units is going down from 1,159 to 880 units. This development map has been revised to reflect only option B per the last City Commission meeting. The changes are limited primarily to the eastern portion of the site where commercial and residential uses have been reorganized for better integration. And on the screen right now is the option B, Master Development Plan. And then at the June 16th, the commission approved the amendment on first reading with three specific conditions. Number one, the commercial lots must be no smaller than 1 acre. The multifamily cap is set at 850 units, including 300 for age restricted. And option B is the sole layout reflected in the revised master development plan. And the applicant is here if you have any questions.
All right, we're going to start first with questions to staff. And I have, Vice Mayor, do you have questions for staff?
No, I just wanted to make a motion to approve this item.
Okay, we got to wait till we get to towards the bottom. Commissioner Avila Vasquez, do you have any questions towards staff? You got, you turned yourself off. Hold on.
Yes.
Go ahead.
On the previous screen, and I think I went through, no, the one you just passed, yes. So I think I went through this with Zach. So it says multifamily unit cap, 850 units, includes 300 age-restricted units. So it's really 850 units, which includes 300, right?
So there's 550 multifamily which are not age restricted, and then you have an additional 300 age restricted for a total of 850.
Right, but if
Yes.
I'm reading that, it tells, I mean, this is me, it looks like it says 850 units and an additional 300, which brings it up to more than that, so I just.
Understood, yes. It's just 300.
Yes, I
Correct.
know, I went over it with,
Zach.
thank you, yeah, it just looks like it's an additional 300.
Understood, thank you.
Commissioner Howington, then Commissioner Caldwell.
Has our motion to dismiss for the lawsuit been addressed yet?
So the motion to dismiss is still pending before the court.
And the lawsuit is still pending?
That is correct.
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought the last number was 575 units to include 275 regular units and 300 age-restricted units. Was that not the case?
So between first and second reading, there was we worked with the applicant, and there was some modifications with the numbers to get the numbers correct.
So the modification was to increase the number of units from 575 to now 850.
I would defer to the applicant to be able to answer that question.
Okay. I can wait and ask when it's their turn. Thank you.
Commissioner Caldwell.
I had the same questions, actually, but it's my understanding we're going to increase the multifamily units. Do we have any guarantees that these commercial properties are going to be developed first or at all?
Commissioner, that would be a question for the applicant.
All right.
All right, we're going to get a presentation from the applicant at this time. And sir, if you can just click on the podium and give me a minute. There you go.
Good evening. My name is Bill Barfield. My office is 225 South Westmont, Suite 2040, Altamont Springs, Florida, and I represent the applicant. I'm happy to answer any questions which you have. I think the misunderstanding, Commissioner, was of the 550 units, 275 units were previously approved or are currently approved in the current PD, and that property is already sold and committed. So what we're asking for, I think the misunderstanding was those units were going to stay in place. In other words, what we're saying is those units are already committed. The addition, so we're only getting an extra 275 units in multifamily and 300 units in active adult. That's my understanding of the issue, and it was a misunderstanding in how that arose. The one other change that we made from the last presentation, if you look at the concept plan, Before, the age-restricted multifamily apartments and the big box was switched. They were flipped. We were looking at that, and we felt like the age-restricted multifamily was much better suited along the existing residential development to act as a buffer. So we felt that would be better for the city and better for the community. Aside from that, that's the only other change. Our planner's here as well. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Is there any questions from the dais? Okay, there's Commissioner Santiago.
Thank you, Mayor. This is actually for Jordan, our staff, and maybe you may be able to answer it as well. Jordan, right now, this is just a request to have more commercial and less mixed-use unit.
With this concept, they're going to have more additional commercial acreage, correct, Commissioner?
Okay. They right now have an approval that they can. They don't need our approval to move forward with what they currently can do, which is more mixed use. So they're coming to us saying, hey, listen, here's more commercial, less mixed use apartments. Is that my understanding?
So I'm going to answer it two ways. So they can go forward with the 2022 approval.
Correct.
But the option A that came to the commission last time is off the table. But I'll let Mr. Barfield talk about the 2022 approval in terms of if that's feasible for the applicant.
The 2022 approval, there are certain uses that were approved in the 22 approval that just is no longer viable. The party that had the plan was unable to close on the project, and that project probably would not go forward.
Okay. And I understand there's commercial waiting that's coming to that area, like the Dutch Brothers are waiting for that.
Dutch Brothers is waiting, and we're marketing that property for commercial uses every day.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Caldwell.
So basically, if this gets voted down today, you'll go back to the original design from the 2022, which mostly included age-restricted properties, which in turn gives maybe possibly 2 people per residence or 1 person. Now you want to increase the multifamily by 275 with no real guarantee that we're going to get any commercial development out of this.
Well,
other than fast food restaurants by limiting the size of the commercial properties.
Well, our desire is not to, and I don't think it's feasible to put that many fast food restaurants into this particular property.
What type of commercial business would that bring then?
We're talking to hotels, we're talking to restaurants.
On 1 acre lots?
I'm sorry?
On 1 acre lots?
We can combine the acreage into whatever size lot we need. That's one of the issues we had with Dutch Brothers is the minimum lot size was way too big for that use. So by going to 1 acre, it allows us to combine lots to customize a site for a potential user, because each of these commercial users have different sized lots that their prototypes sit on.
So if a hotel does come knocking on the door, if we don't approve this, you can come back and change those lot sizes, or that lot size would be currently available for a hotel, is what you're telling me? Is that
It would
correct?
be, even if you change it to 1 acre, because that's a minimum lot size, we would still be able to accommodate a hotel, just by combining lots.
All right. I don't have any further questions.
I'm sorry, I'll give it another try.
Commissioner Howington, and then Vice Mayor Harriet. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm just curious because I think some of us up here thought that we were approving the 575 units. Now, if this is approved tonight, how many times should we expect this to come back to ask for more housing units? Would that happen again? Would you seek rezoning? Is that a question that you can answer?
You have to click on the mic again, please. Go ahead.
I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future. I can tell you our current plans is not to seek any more multifamily. Our current, we think we have a plan that is marketable now, and we can go forward and market the property and get this piece of property developed. It's been sitting around a long time, and we desperately want to develop it. And we're trying to get a mix that will allow us to do that.
Now, this is kind of going back to the lawsuit that's in place. Tonight, we just opted to let the overlay lapse for this particular lot that's included in the current lawsuit. Will you be amending the lawsuit to remove the activity center portion of the lawsuit?
Commissioner, I'm not trying to be evasive, but I really don't represent this applicant in that lawsuit, and I can't respond to that.
Okay.
I just don't know.
So, I guess, is the applicant here to actually confirm that they're not going to come back and ask for more units?
Yes, they are.
Because we thought we had that commitment at the last hearing.
Good evening, Alex Stringfellow, 500 Winterly Place, Maitland, Florida. There are no plans to come back and ask for any more units at this time. We think this is a very viable plan. Of course, in 5 years, something could change, but there are no plans. This is marketable to us. We heard you wanted to remove the option A last time, so we were working around that. So there was changes in the ordinance between first reading and second. 309 units are reduced off of the residential overall. We reintroduced the senior housing, which was requested of us. So that was another discussion about how the ordinance is affected. We increased 21 additional acres of commercial, which was an ask generally to have more commercial from this leadership here. And we do believe it's a better road layout and a better open space layout. So we're putting our best foot forward. We think this works. And this is our plan. It's consistent with what we want. We don't want to have to come back here and do this again and make application and come up with a new drawing. We feel that the market has told us what will work. We've heard what you guys are comfortable with. So this is really the best we can do with everything that we know. So that's the best I can give you without, having a crystal ball. And if I had that, we probably wouldn't be in this situation, but that's the best knowledge that I have. So if you need anything else, I'm here to answer more questions.
Thank you.
Commissioner Colwell, Vice Mayor Harriet, then Commissioner Colwell.
Thank you, Mayor. If you don't mind coming back up, I got one more question. I think one more question for you and a question for staff. The question for you is, can you talk quickly, can we go back to the map, and then can you talk about the stormwater plan and the changes that you guys have made between this plan and the previous plan that improves the stormwater design?
So we worked within the existing grades, so there's kind of a low depressional spot in the middle of the site. So we knew storm was going to flow there naturally. That's where it flows today. It also is good practice when you have the opportunity to move your water from the edge of the property in, so you don't have to deal with controlling water going off site. So we're actually moving water internal to the site, so it's good for the neighbors. We're centralizing it. We're making it as part of the master plan as opposed to piecemeal, bit by bit, so we can control the quality, the engineering of that. So it gives a lot more predictability, and you get better performance when your ponds are larger. So all those are reasons that we think that's a better plan. Now, of course, there's existing ponds kind of to the south that are already built, you'll see shown on there. Mm-hmm. And then there's a small pond to the southeast where there is the potential for water to move in that direction, but by and large, most of it is getting captured in that middle. We're planning to, amenitize that, have that be a central focal point that all the users, commercial, residential, age-restricted, medical support can appreciate, and that's kind of ties into what you're talking about with walkability. So if you do go outside these uses, where are you going to walk to? When the ponds are privatized, there's restrictions on accessing that. So now this is going to be amenity. It'll be a marketing point for us and our team, so we can show that as part of the plan. And then from an engineering, it's a lot more feasible. You're moving less dirt, you're digging less, and it's just easier to construct, more sustainable. So that's the idea that went behind this redesign.
Thank you for that. I just want to reiterate the one thing that you said was that it's by moving it central to the property, we're preventing or the impact to the neighbors, which I think is key, especially in what we've seen over the last 2 years, 3 years almost. And then my question for staff is that when we discussed at first public hearing the reduction in the lot size minimum, we also asked, and I believe you guys were amenable to some sort of condition to not have fast food drive-through restaurants. Is that still the case?
There was a discussion about the number of 1 acre lots.
Yeah, we talked about maybe limiting that to 4 or something along those lines, and then a discussion on.
I think that's acceptable.
Okay, and then a discussion on a condition to not allow fast food drive-throughs.
That's what Dutch Brothers means.
No, that's what Dutch Brothers does have a drive-through. I think the challenge we have there is even your sit-downs, like Panera post-COVID, they're a requirement that they have now, which we brought the first Panera Bread to Claremont, the first Outback Steakhouse, and the first Carrabba's to Claremont.
And I talked to staff about this before the first public hearing, or maybe it was legal about this, and the distinction between fast food, such as McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, versus fast casual or your coffee shops.
Okay.
And so this wouldn't include your fast casual like your Panera Bread or your coffee shops like your Dutch Bros, but it would include your fast food drive-throughs like your Hardee's, your Arby's, your McDonald's, that kind of thing.
Do you have a proposed?
Yeah, prohibition on fast food drive-throughs.
I mean, if there's a certain amount of, we don't anticipate to develop the whole property as a fast food center, but there are opportunities for 1 or 2 other restaurants to come in there. McDonald's already has a restriction. There will be no hamburger restaurant in there.
They're already right there.
They're already right there. There's not going to be that. Could there be a Chick-fil-A or an Arby's? We're not going to preclude that. And even sit-down restaurants now, I can point you to Hooligans in Port Orange. They have a drive-up facility where they bring the food out to.
Yeah, that wouldn't be included in a fast food. That's not fast food. That's more fast casual or takeout. So I understand that. I just.
So, but
to
that,
Commissioner Caldwell's concern, I don't think that this is a place we're trying to get this place developed as someplace where people go to enjoy the amenities as well as shop, and that's not conducive with fast food uses.
well, again, there's a few lots right off of Howland that would be conducive for that. If it were further back, I don't think there's any issue with that.
Go ahead.
If I may,
Yep.
Go ahead.
So just a couple things to update. One, we do have a restriction with McDonald's for any kind of burger type user there. That kind of leaves the door open for other drive-throughs. We would be willing to cap, which we have an existing McDonald's there today, along with that max of 5 drive-throughs of any type, which would include your Panera, your coffee, all those. And we have restrictions already existing with McDonald's that severely limits what we can do. You know, if that would be, it's tough to.
Okay.
It's tough to commit to that when there's a gray area of what's a fast casual, and we also are limited by.
Chick-fil-A and who can.
Yes, that's another one that would potentially look in this area, and we're also limited too on our trips. So we would have to buy more. They're high trip generating use, so we have a limited number of trips. So we're limited there too. So there's some controls to that effect, if that helps.
So we've got the number of trips that would kind of help limit this. Your current agreement with McDonald's, and then if you do the 5, limit it to 5 drive-throughs, including the coffee shop and any potential Panera of such.
Yes.
Okay.
And just to answer what Alex said, or add to what Alex said, you're right, the drive-throughs do create a very high traffic count. So it benefits us to limit the amount of traffic we can in order to maximize the return before we have to go out and do other traffic studies and do more mitigation.
Okay.
And there's a significant portion of those trips that have already been consumed.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. I appreciate your agreement.
Commissioner Caldwell?
Yes. You know, I don't think I think it's very commendable that you got the stormwater to move towards the center of the property. I think everybody should be striving towards that. But that's not the only concern that we have here is the stormwater displacement. The traffic is a big issue. So, you know, we're going from 800 age-restricted residents where there might be 1 to 2 vehicles in each residence to 550 multifamilies where there could be 2, 3 children that are driving age and could potentially be 2, 4, or 5 vehicles coming out using the traffic there. You know, for me, unless you come to me with some certainty of some commercial development that's knocking on our door, I can't see it. I can't see sacrificing that. That's all I have to say on that. On the second subject, Mayor, can we get that put on this TV here like they were before?
That'd be Pete.
I'd like to just address the traffic. We're limited to 17,000 trips.
It doesn't mean you can't buy some, though.
And I believe there is 6,000 or 7,000 that's already consumed. So we understand what we need to do to preserve those trips.
Commissioner Lully?
Thank you, Mayor. I have concerns about the traffic as well. I think that area is becoming increasingly congested and, quite frankly, unsafe for all users. And there's many different, that whole area, there's many different facets of that. Have all the any transportation improvements related to this development, they're all completed, or would there be additional improvements made?
All the transportation improvements that were required to be made at this time have been made. The physical improvements were made several years ago. I think there is one mitigation payment that may be due when we reach a certain trip level. I think that's $15,000, but I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
It's significant, but there is one payment I think remaining due, and we haven't reached that trip generation level yet.
Okay. This isn't for you because I know you're not the litigation attorney, and this has no bearing on my vote tonight, but just a general word to put out there. I think it's bad business to sue someone when you're asking them for something. So I would just put that out there into the world for the applicant. So just a general comment there. Are you able to commit? I know it's kind of been asked. I'm gonna ask it even harder. Are you able to commit any specific commercial development at this time, other than we know of Dutch Brothers? They've met with me. Is there anyone else out there that you think is serious?
I know we're currently talking to a hotel group. It has not gone to contract yet.
Okay, thank you. That's it, Mayor. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez?
Thank you, Mayor. So can you tell me in that map where is all this commercial and restaurants supposed to be as opposed to residential?
The already approved residential is in the gold color there. Everything in pink, as I understand it, is commercial, or purple, depending on.
So is the commercial going to be outside of the residential, or is that?
The commercial will be in front of it, except for the big box, which is all the way in the back. So the residential is around the edge of the property that abuts the residential development adjacent to the property.
So it's not that huge. That goal that you pointed to, that's also residential?
That was already approved for 275 residential units in the existing PD. And we're asking for an additional 275. We're not asking for an additional 500. We're asking for an additional 275.
And where's the 300 senior?
The 300 senior is that area up in the very north end of the property.
Jordan's pointing to it with his pointer.
So between the one on the left and the one on the right, that's your 550, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And then your 300 would be up on the corner, which would be your senior.
That's correct.
And the one on the left would be residential, not apartment residential or houses,
That's approved multifamily.
multifamily
And-
housing.
And that property's already been sold.
It's already sold. And it's already confirmed that it's going to be built, houses are going to be built there, multifamily homes.
Yes.
Apartments? Apartments or houses?
Multifamily is apartments.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Santiago?
Thank you, Mayor. Just really quick, I just wanted to talk about the concerns that Commissioner Lully brought up about the traffic, and Caldwell brought up about the traffic, the congestions there. I do know, and we can get more information later, but Volusia County is doing a study in that area with improvements, which will come also with improvements in the landscaping coming out of I-4, hopefully working with FDOT as well, because that area is getting, we do see it. We do see the traffic in the morning. They're also working with improving the safety for our students at Deltona High School. I'll get some updates at that next meeting. But I also wanted to say that, we did a visioning session in Visioning 2050, and our residents want commercial. This is a great opportunity for the commercial to come here to Deltona. I just feel like Deltona has been always stuck, right? We've always been stuck and not been able to push forward. I think it's a great development. Eventually, the improvements there with the traffic will be taken care of, and I totally support this idea and bringing commercial to Deltona. So thank you.
And I would like to just point out that if we ever come back and increase a traffic count, new traffic studies have to be performed, and we've got to pay for what we cause. So we understand that.
We're going to go to Commissioner Lully, and then we're going to start going to public comment, to people with standing, and then public comment.
Thank you, Mayor. I forgot to ask this. During our public forum tonight, I don't think you were here, we had a gentleman who expressed concerns about another down the road area where there weren't sidewalk connections to the greater sidewalk network. And when he was talking, I went on Google Street View and I said, you know what, there's not. You have to go into the busy ingress and egress in order to access the public sidewalks from that particular development. Will this development be both inside of it and externally? Will all of the multimodal networks, so for pedestrians, bicyclists, and folks with mobility challenges, will all that be connected so we're not going to see people having to ride through active traffic lanes?
It's my understanding, yes, it
Okay.
is. And there's also, in the other PD, there was a requirement for a connection from the adjacent neighborhood as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
For a trail or a walkway so they could access the community as well.
Okay, and I'm hoping those connections are unobstructed. There's not high voltage, transmission lines in the middle of them, which just kills me when I see that because it defeats the why do we even put a sidewalk there? But I just would like to make sure that those are all open and that everyone can use them and that we're getting people through safely because again, that area is increasingly challenging from a driver standpoint, a pedestrian standpoint, a scooter standpoint. Everyone is having challenges, so I just that's a priority.
Yeah, and everything is underground there, so
Okay.
there won't
Terrific.
be any
Yes,
impediment.
very good. Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you.
All right, do we have anybody with standing? Do you have any public comment? Okay, can you click on your mic so I can? Go ahead.
Christian Wall, please.
There we go. Good evening, Commission. My name is Christian Waugh. I am an attorney for Coal Valley Partners, which most of you or all of you have heard from before. I spoke at the last hearing on this, and I talked about some of what we perceive as the tangible benefits, the property tax diversification that will increase the commercial base, the sales tax revenue from the $2.2 million in annual sales that Dutch Bros will bring, the 45 jobs. But What I want to address here tonight is the fact that if this passes, my client is going to close on the purchase of the property. It is slightly more than an acre. It will fit my client's needs, and they're coming. In fact, they've been working with your staff since at least May of 2024 on the site plan. They're through the second round of site plan review and recently received a few more comments, but I think it's fair to say that they're close. They have approval from FDOT. They have approval from the Water Management District. This is not the kind of investment that a company makes if they're not intending on really following through. You know, they're watching here tonight. They want to see this come through, and I hope you'll vote for it. Thank you.
Okay. That ends public comment, and people withstanding public comment. All right. This time, we're going to go ahead and I'm seeking a motion. Go ahead, Vice Mayor, you were on first.
If Commissioner Santiago wants to make the motion, it's her district, so.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
I would just ask that you make it with the conditions.
Oh, I hereby move to approve ordinance number 14-2025, amending the Halifax Crossing Mixed-Use Plan Unit Development with the conditions that were spoken to about earlier. 'Cause I don't-
I believe the conditions that were stipulated to by the applicant, in addition to those previous, were that there would be a maximum of
5 drive-thrus.
Of 5 drive-through restaurants total included in the MPUD. And Mr. Mayor, if I may also read the ordinance by title into the record.
Thank you.
Yes, please. And before you do that, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor. Go ahead.
Ordinance number 14-2025, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending the Halifax Crossings Mixed-Use Planned Unit Development, MPUD, for approximately 109.71 acres of land located along the Halifax Crossings Boulevard corridor, south and east of the Halifax Hospital Complex, within the Activity Center, to include the provision of master development map alternatives and a reduction in the minimum lot size for commercial parcels, providing for recording, conflict, severability, and an effective date.
All right, City Clerk, can you turn on your mic because we're going to go to a verbal vote?
Commissioner Avila Vasquez?
Yes.
Commissioner Colwell? No. Commissioner Howington?
No.
Commissioner Lully?
No.
Commissioner Santiago? Yes. Vice Mayor Harriet?
Yes.
Mayor Avila?
Yes. Motion passes 4-3. All right, if I can please have the city attorney, let me turn on your mic, read the resolution, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025. Oh, excuse me, I'm on the wrong item.
This is resolution number 2025-66, a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, approving the local housing.
Excuse me, hold on. Guys, I'm trying to listen to what the attorney is reading. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Local Housing Assistance Plan, LHAP, as required by the State Housing Initiatives Partnership Program Act, subsection 420, spot 907-420, spot 9079, Florida statutes, and Rule Chapter 67-37, Florida Administrative Code, authorizing and directing the city manager or designee to execute any necessary documents and certifications needed by the state, authorizing the submission of the Local Housing Assistance Plan for review and approval by the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, providing for implementation, conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion so we can begin discussion. So moved by Commissioner Avila Vasquez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Santiago. Is there any public comment? No public comment. Go ahead, Quinton.
Mayor, Commission, Quentin Gross with Community Development, and today I'm going to be giving you a quick overview of the upcoming LHAP that will be submitted to the state of Florida for approval after this meeting. So an overview of SHIP. It's funded through the Florida's Sadowski Trust Fund, which is a state fund that is provided from the General Housing Trust Fund through HUD. It is a 3-year local housing assistance plan. It covers 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28 fiscal years. So it's renewable every 3 years. The goal is to provide affordable housing to low, very low, and moderate income residents. Those incomes are based on HUD guidelines and SHIP guidelines up to 120% or missing middle, sometimes referred to workforce housing, that kind of stuff. It prioritizes special needs and essential services, and the awards that are listed as maximums are not guaranteed to the resident. Those are just maximums by state statute that we're allowed to offer. So this LHAP has been designed in conjunction with the LHAPs that were submitted recently by Volusia and Seminole County. So this mirrors both of those LHAPs to kind of align us with what's in the region. So Strategy A, the biggest change that we did to Strategy A was the previous awards, which were tiered by income level, started at 45,000 and went to 55,000. The state maximum is 60,000, with up to 20,000 of that to be used for rehab if the house needs something like a new roof, new electrical system before they can close on it. So we can still provide them down payment assistance and fix something to get them into a house. We raised it to the maximum 60,000, and you'll see some of the awards were raised in this LHAP because it does align more closely with Volusia and Seminole County, and the cost of doing construction, especially with the tariffs, everything's gone up, so we've had to do a percentage based off of what we get from the state versus their millions. So we calculated it out to a percentage and then just increased our percentage to match theirs, basically. So Strategy B is our emergency repair or minor home repair. The biggest change from this was the grant was only for a single item, which was a roof, and that was for elderly people 62 years and above. We changed this to match what Volusia and Seminole both do, and we opened it up to all income levels regardless of age, and we opened it up not just to roof grants, but roof, electric, plumbing, weatherization, HVAC, and accessibility or barrier removal for any income up to moderate income regardless of age. Our owner-occupied rehabilitation, this was our biggest jump. Originally, our old LHAP had a 60,000 max award. As I said, we kind of prorated what the other two counties were doing and figured out a percentage base of what we get versus what they get, and I increased it to 125,000, which gives us better opportunity to help the homeowner because of the cost of construction and the cost of labor has gone up. Again, with this, the biggest change to this strategy, the owner-occupied repair and the minor home repair, is prior to this LHAP, we had a unwritten rule, one trip through SHIP. So I aligned it with what Seminole County and Volusia County do, and now for minor home repair to minor home repair, you can come through once every 5 years. Minor home repair to owner-occupied repair, there is no wait period. So if I do your roof and we figure out that we have to do more, we can move you into another program to get your house up to livable standard, as well as meet our state set-aside requirements that we have to meet annually. The only downside to matching the counties is you can't go from owner-occupied repair to a minor home repair. So I can't fix the inside of your house and then a year later you ask me to fix your roof because you have to pay off the existing mortgage that you would have through the owner-occupied repair. So acquisition, new construction, this strategy was implemented based off of what Seminole County did for their CLT that they passed a few years ago, and based off the last commission where the CLT resolution was approved, we added this in, which allows us to use up to $200,000 of state funds to acquire and or build new construction towards the CLT. So disaster assistance strategy, this is one that is state mandated. It has to be in here. Unfortunately, the chances of us ever using this are pretty slim to none because we're always in a disaster, and you have to go through FEMA and CDBG before I can actually even touch this. So the chances of ever really using the disaster is not great, but it has to be in here by state statute. We have to have a disaster assistance fund in our LHAP. And our final is our rental construction rehabilitation. This would be for projects that are multifamily or income-based, which is typically referred to as sale funds, which is a version of SHIP funds. SHIP is single-family, sale is multifamily. So these would be for any projects that we have that would be like low-income tax credits, sale funds that would cater to strictly income-based multifamily. It could be single-family units, as in a subdivision, or it can be actual multifamily buildings. It doesn't have to be the traditional multifamily like an apartment or something. It can be a multifamily subdivision. So we added this in just in case we ever need it. Currently, right now, though, it is not anticipated that we'll ever use it, but the state likes to see something of this nature in your LHAP moving forward. So pending any questions, that's all I have.
I don't see anyone on, so if we can please vote. Motion passes 5-2. Okay, at this time we're going to go ahead to action items. A, can I please have the city attorney read the resolution request?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-91.
At the right one.
A resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute a change order to the contract with A.G. Pfeiffer Construction Company, Inc. for repairs and renovation of the Public Works Depot and Sign Shop, authorizing execution of future change orders within the established project budget, providing for implementation and an effective date.
Okay, this time I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve this item.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Harriet to approve. Is there a second? There's a second by Commissioner Lully. Is there any public comment? No public comment. I don't see any person on here for questions. Can we please vote? Motion passes 7-0. We go ahead at section B. If I can please have the city attorney read the resolution request.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, resolution number 2025-39, a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, authorizing the city manager to award purchase orders in accordance with city budgets to Faust Knight Striping and Line pursuant to the City of Deltona piggyback agreement with Faust Knight Striping and Line, entered into pursuant to Seminole County Contract Number IFB-604562-23/LNF, as amended, providing for renewals in accordance with city budgets, providing for implementation and an effective date.
Okay, at this time I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Santiago?
I move to approve Resolution 2025-39.
At this time, okay. Motion by Commissioner Santiago, second by Vice Mayor Harriet. Is there any public comment?
Tim Blodgett, please.
Mr. Blodgett? And then after public comment, we'll go to Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Okay, I'm not too sure the particulars of this, but it does have to do with line striping. Howland Avenue, on the corner of 415, on the corner of Wolfpack, by the high school there, and by East Graves, where it goes off up into Orange
City.
Orange City, thank you. All three of these have something in common. They have a left-hand turn that was doubled up to accommodate more traffic to flow into the turn, which after that squeezes down to one lane. All three of them are they originally had dash lines. So the cars didn't go banging into each other and everybody knew how far to stay away from each other. Now, they no longer exist. I can't see them. I go through there just about every day on one of those intersections, and they're all gone. And half the people are missing, and half the people that go through here are pretty much, it's accidents waiting to happen and accidents that have happened. So as a safety consideration, if there's any way that you can get this corrected, that would be great. And whoever started striping the streets last year, either over here, that good-looking guy over there, or those two good-looking people that over there, you are my new heroes. Have a good night.
Vince. Mr. Blodgett, I'll personally reach out to the county because that is a county road. So, thank you, Mr. Blodgett. Commissioner Avila Vasquez, I saw that you requested to speak.
Yes, Mayor. I noticed that a lot of the stuff that we're doing, we're heading out to Seminole County. Are we looking into Volusia County for some of these jobs that the city's doing?
So I'll defer to city staff on their procurement policy. This is, I would like to point out, a piggyback agreement. This was not awarded to a vendor under a city bid. This was a piggyback of the Seminole Theater, or Seminole
Theater.
Seminole County contract.
Go ahead, Ms. Wallace.
Phyllis Wallace, Public Works. Yes, we work with purchasing and look at existing contracts that are out there that may be in the city's best interest to piggyback or do a cooperative agreement. This one just happens to be out of Seminole County. They had a great price that that contractor did offer for us to use them to do the services.
And so you also looked into Volusia County and there was none?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we did.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Caldwell.
Yes, sir.
It's my green light. The contract that's bidded under, is this price guaranteed for a certain amount of time?
It is. I could have brought this back when we brought the milling and resurfacing, but the contract had just been renewed with Seminole County, so we had to wait. I believe it's a 3-year contract, but I'd have to check on that for you, and I'll confirm that.
All right. Thank you.
All right, can we please vote? Motion passes 7-0. This time I'll ask the city attorney to read the resolution request C.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-90, a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, authorizing the city manager to approve a transfer of public road jurisdiction and maintenance pursuant to Florida Statute Section 335, Spot 0415, for a portion of Fernanda Drive, providing for implementation and an effective date.
This time I'll entertain a motion to begin discussion. Commissioner Lilly?
Yes, I move to approve resolution number 2025-90.
Is there a second? Second by Vice Mayor Harriet. Is there any public comment? No? Commissioner Avila Vasquez, you're on the request.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm reading, and this, really popped into my head when I read it, and I had to go back and look because it says specifically here that it was presented to the commissioners twice in the last 18 months. And I don't know, this seems to be getting in a habit that things are denied up at the dais, but they continue to come back to us anyway for another approval. So I'm just wondering, the last time it came up to the commission, it was specifically motion passed 7-0 to be tabled. Now, unless it was tabled at a table that I was not aware of, I don't remember ever sitting anywhere to go over this item.
Commissioner, I have brought this back to you at the request of Volusia County, and I did a narrative, and I know you all have read it, and it's been back and forth. I would take the position that it was originally intended when Fernanda was being designed, laid out, is that section of roadway to get to Fernando, that is an unincorporated Volusia County, had always been intended to, upon completion, to be dedicated to the city. They've asked me to bring it back, and that's why I've brought it back to you for one final go-around.
Okay, and so it's my understanding that the two properties between or on the side of this road, they're still vacant, and they're also Volusia County property.
They are an unincorporated Volusia County, yes, ma'am. They are vacant properties. There is one property who has been trying to get a home built out there, and that has been part of the push to get this back before you for consideration, is the county doesn't want to issue them a permit because the road really, in all intents purposes, from their perspective, should have been transferred to the city of Deltona, where we would then approve the right-of-way use permit for that home development.
So the road is county, but the county won't give approval for the house to be built?
Right now, they have paused that approval, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that home to be built is on one of those side properties?
Yes, ma'am. If my memory is correct, if you're coming in from Howland Boulevard, it's a property about halfway down on the left-hand side of the property, of the roadway, excuse me.
Thank you.
Commissioner Lally, then Commissioner Caldwell.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a great recent example, actually, of why I made the motion and why I want to vote yes on this, because I normally wouldn't want to take other people's infrastructure. This is, Phyllis, 2 minutes from the Public Works Depot, let's just say. We'll speed. We had 4 to 5 inches of rain last week in a very short time in this area, and I observed on Fort Smith, it's an inlet that was clogged. As I was driving out from my house, made a circle around my district to check out the flooding. By the time I came back, public, where I called it in, by the time I came back, Swallow said the work order issued, that inlet was clear. It was vacuumed out, and the road was draining. So I think when I look at voting yes on this, that's the reason why, because the level of service for this road, I believe, would be improved with its proximity to our Public Works Depot and the ability to issue a work order and get assistance out there immediately, because stormwater inlets, unfortunately, get clogged with vegetative debris and people dump things in them and all that good stuff. So that's why I'm voting yes this evening. I think that the level of service would be something that serves my many constituents in the Fernando Place community. Thank you.
Commissioner Caldwell, then Vice Mayor Harriet.
Phyllis, how many lots are involved between the school and to the other side, that lot on the other side of that road there? And those are all county, would be my second part to that question.
Map. I did not count it.
More than 4?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, there's quite a few out there, I would say, between 20 to maybe 30
Right.
lots of varying sizes.
So essentially, we would landlock the county into that area there, because the city is Fernando Park, correct?
That is
Fernando Place.
correct. The opposite would have been, if the county had not allowed the road to be built, then the subdivision would have been landlocked. We would have had to find another alternative.
My other part to that is, then why wasn't this done at the beginning then?
The history is long before I started with the city, but my history does show that there was communications, there was emails, there was some failure to respond for different reasons with change in administration, both in the public works engineering side and other places. So it came back to me 2 years ago.
Well, I would assume that they want to give us this land or relinquish this to us now so that we can maintain it at our cost as opposed to their cost.
Yes, sir.
Would they be willing to give up the other lots that are involved in there?
Give them as...
Get the city to take over the lots that are county at this point. The 20 lots that you would...
You're talking about like an annexation?
Correct.
I'll let Jordan speak regarding the planning side.
Good. Commissioner, those lots would be eligible for annexation.
Is there any discussion on that part at this point?
We've not had discussion because the county has not provided us any applicants that are looking for.
Could we possibly table this until this discussion happens?
Just point of order, there's already a motion and a second on the floor, so. You done, Commissioner Caldwell?
Yeah, I mean, if we did table this, we could go into discussion about annexing the rest of those properties, correct?
So it would almost be, it would be an automatic annexation for those properties.
An automatic.
So when they develop, they would need city services, and they would be required to annex into the city.
But it'd be one lot at a time at this point, correct? As it gets developed?
Correct.
Okay. I'm talking about taking over the entire 20 lots or whatever it might be.
We can definitely approach the county.
I would.
Okay. Vice Mayor Harriet?
Thanks, Mayor. Mr. Smith, is there a mechanism that we could pursue to, whether it be, would we have to annex them first before we rezoned them? That way we can maybe change the future land use from residential to commercial?
So in terms of annexation, you got to get a majority of the people interested to want to annex into the city.
Okay, so if we wanted to change...
That's for the involuntary annexation, but if they're developing and they want to receive city services, then they would be required to annex. So there's involuntary annexation, voluntary annexation, then involuntary annexation.
So is there currently, if in order to change the future land use of those parcels, it would be on the county to change the future land use?
So right now, the future land use is AR, agricultural resource in the county, and agricultural zoning. If it does come into the city, we would, depending on what the use is, it may require rezone or future land use amendment.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a way that those could be converted in or used for commercial purposes with its proximity to Howland Boulevard, and we've got enough residential there. I think would just be nice to see that as commercial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner, are you done?
I'm done. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Lally?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner Call, for bringing that up, because I thought that was set a light bulb off in my head that if someone were, let's say this house that wants to get built, obviously we have water sewer reclaim that runs along Fernanda Drive now. Would they be required to connect to that? Question mark. Oh.
Yes, sir, they would. For the
And-
development opportunities, yes, sir.
And our ordinance says that all people who connect to the utility have to annex, right? Okay. What can we do, and I'd be willing to amend the motion to provide that direction. Can I do that?
So your motion could include direction to staff to work with Volusia County regarding annexation and, talking with the property owners. I would caution you on making the acceptance contingent on those conversations. I imagine that would be quite a lengthy process, whereas the county seems to be pushing for this transfer to take place in the near term.
Okay. I would like to amend my motion at this time to approve resolution number 2025-90 with direction to staff to begin immediate coordination with Volusia County to discuss annexation of all of the parcels that lie in the rectangle bound by Howland Boulevard, Clarion Street, Fernanda Drive, and I'm going to call it the strip that runs along the rear of the homes on Landing Lane and to the west of what to me appears to be Learning Lane, which would be the school's parcel.
Commissioner Santiago, are you okay with keeping your second on that regard?
Just really quick, I know there's a house, someone's waiting for a permit to build a house there. So can we just take the street and then move towards the second half of that request?
That's what his
Is
amendment
that,
is.
okay, then I'm fine, okay, I'm fine.
You good, Commissioner Lely?
Yes.
Hold on. I want to make sure you're done.
I'm good, yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
And then I had Commissioner Vasquez, and then Colwell, and then I'll go to you. Go ahead, Commissioner Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. So I have a question with your motion, Commissioner Lally. What if they do not want to? What if they don't agree to your request? Then what?
I think that's a question for legal, if I'm not mistaken. So if
Yeah.
legal can,
I'm sorry, I didn't, I should have said, you know what I should have said.
So the form of the motion is that this transfer will take place immediately as soon as these documents are executed. The addition of direction does not impact the transfer. It is simply additional direction to staff to move forward with enacting the commission's desire to annex these parcels in as a group rather than on a parcel by parcel basis.
To answer your question, though, if they say no, then it would go back to parcel by parcel. So if we approach the county and, we go through the process and the answer is no, then as they would need to hook up to city services, they would then have to come in on a parcel by parcel basis.
And the road will still belong to the city of Deltona?
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Colwell?
So the only way this house can be built is if we approve this road? Is that what you're claiming, or somebody's saying? It still has to go through approval through the county, correct?
That is,
So there's no guarantee that this house is going to be approved?
The county has just paused it, and then the homeowner may have also paused, just trying to see where the city was going to go, who are they going to get their right-of-way use permit from versus who they're going to get their single-family home development, because if the road belongs to us, we issue the right-of-way use permit for that development opportunity for that home.
So the only way we could obtain a negotiating tool at this point, meaning the transfer of the road, would be to deny this
City Attorney might want to answer that, because I believe we can't condition anything on this.
Well, we can deny the motion.
Yeah,
The majority can deny the motion, and then we go back to the beginning and negotiate.
The commission could deny this motion, and I don't know, I have not spoken to the county directly on this item. I don't know if annexation or this home really play a large role in acceptance or transfer of this roadway. This seems to be something that's been pending for a while. According to your staff, there's history dating back prior to even your assistant public works director being with the city.
But when we go into communications with them, our only tool we have is actually this road to negotiate. Would that be correct?
Yeah, the parcel owners are required to annex into the city, regardless of whether the city accepts this roadway. It will be a discussion regarding whether that occurs on a parcel by parcel basis as development occurs, or whether the county is able to work with the city to get the parcel owners to annex in on a group basis rather than on the parcel by parcel. That's really the only difference.
Right, I understand. That's it.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, so, sorry for the confusion, but just to clarify, if we annex the road, or if we take control over the road, it is now the city of Deltona that issues a right-of-way permit. do we have any, at what point do we take control, or does the annexation happen where we then have control over the permitting process or the use of those parcels?
So pursuant to city code, if a parcel owner, if an applicant is seeking to utilize city utility services, water and or sewer, then that parcel owner, that applicant, is required to annex into the city. At that point, coordination begins, right? That begins on the front end. Generally, what happens is you annex in with the nearest analogous zoning category to what already exists for you. An applicant may be seeking a rezoning, in which case, we'd start to talk through that process, and they would have an agreement to annex in and go through the rezoning process in the city. When we talk about changing the future land use designation on a group basis for multiple parcels without an applicant seeking utility service, that is where we would need to coordinate with both the county and the parcel owners to provide for voluntary annexation in advance of an application, as opposed to the involuntary annexation, which is required by our code for those seeking to connect to services.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Colwell, and then Commissioner Villa-Vasquez, and then we're going to go ahead and vote.
So I'm legal by that statement there. It sounds to me like in order to build there, whether through the county or not, they are going to have to, it's mandatory that they annex into the city. Would that be correct? So if they have to anyhow, why would we not?
Yes, if they are seeking water and or sewer connection, then yes. I want to just, so it is a yes with a caveat, because there may be a case where you can have a well and a septic tank on your parcel. That is, without looking at the map, without knowing the exact parcel sizes, I would not be able to tell you if that condition exists. However, if you are seeking to utilize city services, then yes, you do have to annex it.
And in order for us to annex that property, we only need the majority. Would that be correct in state?
If you are seeking to annex
The 20 plus or minus lots, whatever they are.
Yes, it would need to be a majority of the property
majority of the
owners.
property. All right. Well, it seems to me like if they're going to have to anyhow, as a group effort, they might want to. That's all I have to say.
Commissioner Villa-Vasquez?
Thank you, Mayor. So am I wrong to say that we already have residents who are not part of the county who use city water and stuff like that, but they're not annexed into the city? So how is it that, well, I'm waiting for the answer.
You want to turn on your, I think she's referring to folks like in Stone Island who have city services.
I'm referring to people who are not annexed into the city but still use city utilities.
Stone Island would be one example. Covington Estates would be another example that's on the south side by Doyle and Providence.
Right.
I'm going to let Glenn answer that because that was before my time, and codes may have changed since then.
Thank you. Thank you, Phyllis.
Those areas, the utilities were owned by Florida Water Services at that time when they were developed. The city did not own the utility at that time. They bought us out in 2003. So a lot of those things were already done before the city bought it.
Even Covington was also built during those times?
As far as I remember, it was. I don't remember exact year of Coventry, but it was started, the utility was started quite a while before the city became a city, and I don't think It was required at that time. The ordinances could have been changed in the city after we came into the city to require it, but I think those subdivisions predated that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're supposed to go into a vote. So Commissioner Lally, is there something you would like to add to what you said?
Yeah, I just wanted to answer, and I'm not trying to step in legal, I wanted to answer Commissioner Vila Vasquez. In our code of ordinances, the annexation requirements only start in 2010, and there's some amendments going to 2016. So it is much newer than the utility itself and much newer than like from the date of incorporation. So I would say that is something that has happened more recently, a requirement.
All right, can we please go for a vote? Motion passes 5-2. This time I will ask the city attorney to read D, the request for resolution 2025-85.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-87, a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, authorizing the city manager to award an agreement to Raftellus Financial Consultants, Inc., pursuant to RFP number 25017, Comprehensive Impact Fee Study for Transportation, Parks, Law Enforcement, and Fire Rescue, providing for implementation and an effective date.
This time I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Lally?
Yes, I move to approve resolution number 2025-85.
This time I'll entertain a second.
I'll second.
Second by Vice Mayor Harriet. And you wanted to second as well, Commissioner Owens?
Yeah, that's why I have my light on.
Okay. Can we get the city clerk to make sure we amend it to Commissioner Howington seconded, please? And Vice Mayor, just make sure you. All right.
Switch back and forth whether
It's fine. Let's not get into a back and forth over a light now.
not worried about it.
Is there any public comment? No public comment? All right. There seems to be no questions, so if we can please just vote.
Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead.
At last week's budget workshop, I was asked a couple of questions regarding this item. First item was 12 months seemed to be a little long. They did come back to me and say they can complete it in 9 months, so I could bring this back May or early June of 26. Second item was, it was asked what the cost was to go from a transportation to mobility impact fee. That would be an additional cost of $3,000. And then the third question was, did this include a general impact fee? The answer was no, but they can do that as well, and that's $20,000. So the current amount, the award from the RFP was $100,000. If you'd like to do the other two items, it would be $123,000.
Thank you. All right.
Make an amendment motion?
There's already a motion on the table. We're already voting, so.
So are we not doing the other items?
We are. He just said he was going to bring it back.
Okay.
Motion passes 7-0.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Mr.
City
Mayor, if you'd like to start with those additional impact fees, we would need the motion to include the amendment that those two additional fees would.
Commissioner Lally, would you like to make a separate motion since this one already passed? And I don't want the city clerk to come after me because she's going crazy. That's why I just want to put this out there. We need, the clerk gives us all a motion, like the formats, how we should, and I've been allowing the blurting out. We're going to have to start sticking to the motions because it's confusing everybody. So would you like to add an additional motion, Commissioner Lally?
Yes.
Hold on. There you go.
I'll never get used to this. Yes, I would like to add an additional motion to accept the recommended additions presented to us this evening.
There's a motion by Commissioner Lally. Commissioner Howington, you are lit up.
I will second.
There's a second. Commissioner Colwell, do you have any questions? Okay. Is there any public comment? I know this is recently just added. Is there any specific public comment from the audience? None? Can we please vote? That motion passes 7-0. All right, I believe we are in E. If I can please have the city attorney read the resolution request.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, resolution number 2025-87, a resolution of the City of Deltona, Florida, authorizing the city manager to award an agreement to Alfred Benesch and Company for the fire rescue assessment study related to the Deltona Fire Department, recognizing an exemption to competitive bidding, providing for implementation and an effective date.
This time I'll entertain a motion. I see Commissioner Howington is on.
I move to approve resolution number 2025-87.
Thank you, Commissioner Howington, for reading the motion. Commissioner Santiago, you're on.
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Howington, second by Commissioner Santiago. Is there any public comment? No public comment. Commissioner Caldwell? You were just going to second? Okay. Seeing that nobody else is on the board, can we please vote? Motion passes 7-0. All right, city attorney comments.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. The one update we wanted to provide is, as per your direction at the last meeting, we have been reaching out and having some conversations with some other governments. Ultimately, what we have been doing is advising everyone that we would recommend that they reach out to Jamie Cole at Weiss Rota. We spoke with him last week, and if there are enough cities who would like to bring a challenge to SB 180, then the firm would take it on at $10,000 per government, per city or county. They do need a certain amount of governments to participate. We don't know what that number is, but I'm going to guess 10 to 15, which seems likely just based on the conversations that we've had with other governments. I do have some calls scheduled later this week with some other county and city attorneys that were on vacation or unavailable. So we're still moving forward on that, but I just wanted to give you an update on that's the price if they get enough plaintiffs, and that would be for the trial level. And so if the case moves above trial, there'll be a separate set rate for appellate and a separate set rate if it goes to the Supreme Court. We don't know what those rates are yet, but I would expect they would be in line with the initial rate or a little bit less. So no action required, just wanted to keep you all apprised and give you an update.
Thank you. City manager comments.
Thank you, Mayor. Courtney asked earlier today, and I appreciate that. I let her know that that was the plan to talk about the meetings. That's why we were already discussing that comp plan earlier, but just a reminder to the commissioners, next week, Monday, we have another, it's going to be a workshop, the commission travel policy and TNR is going to be next Monday, 5:30. The following Monday will be a regular commission meeting with the CRA meeting at 5:15. Meeting after that will be August 11th. That's going to be another workshop. That's guidelines, commission guidelines, and lobbyist discussion. Regular commission meeting the Monday after that. And then August 25th. Right now, it looks like the budget workshop will take longer. That's why the comp plan was pushed out, where we'll be discussing fee schedules. This was sent out to the commission earlier. Just wanted to put on record and just remind everybody that Monday, we're back here for another workshop. And one last thing is Deltona University, give a heads up, by the end of the week, we're going to be putting it online for those that are interested for the fall. We're going to do something different that I've never done before, which normally it was every other week for about 12 weeks, 6 classes. We're going to just do them back to back in the month of October going into November before Thanksgiving, having 6 classes just back to back and just keep the momentum going. I think that may be more efficient. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to go down the list for commissioners. Again, we need to make sure we maintain order. So once you speak, unless it's extremely pressing, that's your one last time to speak. So I'll start with Commissioner, and I'll vary from side to side so nobody thinks I'm picking on them. This time I'll start with Commissioner Lully and work the way down. So Commissioner Lully, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week, we had maybe an early preview of what might be to come for hurricane season, at least in my district. We had between 4 and 5 inches of rain in a very short period. Did observe a lot of standing water, but it seemed to drain quickly. In fact, by the end of the day, on the day it was 4 or 5 inches, I was actually quite shocked at the lack of puddles in some places, which obviously the water moved. So I do like to point out the good with the bad. We had a very quick response from Public Works to a stormwater inlet that was clogged on Fort Smith Boulevard. I talked about it in the previous item, but that was remediated really quickly. So I appreciate Public Works on that. Also, in observing the operations of the new Monument Drive pumping station in my district, it seemed that was able to handle the water very well as well. So it looks like we are making some improvements. Obviously, in a city of this size, we have a long way to go, but definitely wanted to point that good news out that there might be some relief. And I did see I had neighbors that were still are sandbagged and had concerns. So it was nice that that did not have to be tested out this time around. Another item that that came up tonight as well in public forum. I don't know if the city is already looking into the Aldi and the pedestrian and mobility access issue. I looked at the street view, and I did note that there wasn't really a connection from within that development to the outside. So I don't know if that's a consensus that we need, or if that's something that we're already looking into.
So I believe, hold on, there you go.
I've already got it jotted down, Commissioner, as
Okay.
number one item.
Okay.
And we'll be moving forward on that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Last request, I think this one we will need a consensus for. I think many of us, from what I understand, have been contacted by Mr. Rivera regarding a film that is to be, or wants to be produced in our area. I know he's asked me about the outcome of that. Of course, we can't meet as a body and talk about it other than up here. So I would like to get a consensus to bring that up at a future meeting as an item for discussion at this point. So we could, as a body, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, just out of respect for his time and our time, because I am receiving communications from him still. So if I could just get a consensus on that. So it would just be at the next commission meeting to have a discussion about the request to film a movie in Deltona.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez?
Can we clarify that there's a dollar amount associated with it, so it's not just filming a movie?
It's a presentation, that's what he's asking for.
Okay.
Go ahead, Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
So is a presentation to be done at the next meeting? Is that what you're asking, Commissioner?
Would that be?
Hold on, give me a minute, let me get to you. There you go.
That reasonable, feasible, Mr. City Manager, or would you prefer 2 meetings from now?
Oh, okay. Are we asking for just the commission to discuss it, or are we asking for the gentleman to come in and do a full presentation?
Maybe let's offer him the opportunity. I mean, he sat with me, he said he sat with others, but I really feel like we need to have that discussion as a body, because we can't talk about voting to give him money outside of up here.
We'll speak with him at whatever date is available, next 2 weeks from now.
Okay, thank you.
Commission meeting? Yep.
Thank you.
Do you need consensus?
You don't need consensus
No,
for that,
no,
right?
we can do that. I know he's met with all of you, and he's been wandering around about it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Commissioner Lilly, anything else? Hold on, I'll get there. Nothing? Okay, got you. Commissioner Colwell. There you go.
Yes, I'd like to open up to start a discussion on the possibility of a foreclosure on the 2 buildings known as Toledo Place behind the post office. The company that is involved in this D32 is facing several challenges in other communities with regards to the unfinished buildings that they have in there. And I'm assuming I need consensus for this.
City Clerk, can you please do the button so I can put you on? Okay, just run down the names, and Commissioner Caldwell, I would agree with you. We've given them an extensive amount of time, so please go ahead.
Well, I got some numbers. I mean, I can go into the values there, but
It's fine. I think we all know the property very well. Go ahead.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez?
Hold on. There you go. Sorry.
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Colwell?
yes.
Commissioner Howington?
Yes.
Commissioner Lilly?
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago? Vice Mayor Harriet?
Yes.
Mayor Avila?
Yes. Hold on. You got to click the button. We'll get a hang of it.
Yeah, we'll get there. So we just wanted to flag for you, and we're giving you all the title report, the title search. If we decide to move forward with the foreclosure, and we will bring it to you first, we will bring it for a vote. If we decide to move forward for a foreclosure, and the foreclosure is successful, we would not be in first position on the note. Our ability to foreclose is based on our code enforcement liens. So we would be fairly low priority. If we succeed, it does not wipe out all the other people in front of us. Now, in this particular case, part of the reason we wanted to give you guys the title report is so you can consider this, right? So we're going to work with code enforcement. We're bringing it to the special magistrate in August to consider increased fines. We will come back to you all again with the foreclosure, but we'd like if you could take these title searches, consider it, because if we win, and we would need to bring in an outside firm who specialize in foreclosures to do this, but if we succeed, and let's say that takes 6 to 12 months, we then have the property and all of the debt that sits on the property that's in front of us, right? So this property has a mortgage, so the debt on this property is not wild. It's not an enormous amount of debt considering, but we do want you all to be informed because there is obviously then the city's on the hook for that debt. So we wanted to give you all this title report so you had it, so you could consider it, and we will bring it back to you before we actually file a foreclosure action. But this is good so we know we can go out, we can find a firm, we can get ready to take that step and then bring it back to you for a final vote. So we just wanted to flag that and answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Commissioner Caldwell, did you have anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up after that conversation there, you know, I personally am aware that there is a original mortgage on there. I think it's 2.7 million and two small claims, I believe, that are 1,000 each. But the value of the property, you know, is well over that at this point, even with the completion at a minor cost. So I would, you know, encourage it. And I don't know about the availability of using SHIP funds and things like that. If we did attain the properties and use it for low income, affordable, I'm sorry. Sorry, thank you for that correction.
That there is potential to use SHIP funds. We would need to explore it and make sure that, you know, all the restrictions were met. But there is potential to use SHIP funds.
Okay. Because the potential operating income annually would be about $292,000 a year based on the going rates for the rental properties that are in that area. Thank you.
Was that all, Commissioner? Okay.
I have a question.
Going.
Okay, let Commissioner Vasquez ask her question. Your mic is on, but she has a quick question since the attorneys opened it up for questions.
$1 on Mondays, just so you know.
I have a question. The property that was approved on Holland Boulevard across the street from the fire station, that project was approved, or the sale of that property was approved to use those funds to complete another project. Was this project one of them? It was not.
Hold on, I'm getting to you.
No, it was not. It was another property.
It's another, okay, thank you.
All right.
That was part of my next question, actually. Do we know where we're at with the Enrico?
It hasn't closed.
And it still hasn't closed?
Yeah, it's not closed.
When I had a conversation, do we have any indication on?
I've tried to reach out personally to get information because I get the same calls that everyone else here gets.
Exactly.
And it's getting extremely annoying. And I called the developer personally and I left messages and I've said, we've exhausted as much as we possibly can. So
You're talking about the D32?
D32.
Yeah. The last question, or the last comments I have.
Before you get to that, I believe Commissioner Howington had a question.
Certainly.
Was it on that?
Yeah, so, well, first, I can answer that question. There's been an issue with Duke related to the Edward Rose property, and they've been trying to work through it, and I did meet with somebody through Team Volusia to try to help them. I guess there's a power line that has to be moved or something, so that, until they can get that squared away, the sale can't move forward, and then I'm not sure that's where I got confused in trying to figure out, is this property tied to what we agreed upon with that was a different property?
That was the other 6 buildings that are behind Publix, which is
Okay.
Enrico Ridge, yes.
Okay, so that's why I was just looking for clarification as to what was what. It was kind of confusing. So, thank you.
All right, Commissioner Caldwell, do you want to finish up?
Am I clear? Yes. I'd like an update on the FEMA trailer that's on Timbercrest and has been there for 3 years. I know she came to the special magistrate and was given a little more time, and I'd like to know where we're at with that. In line with the code complaints earlier about the houses that are not getting taken care of, 2390 Tracy Avenue, which is in my district, they've had 13 vehicle violations, 3 animal and 1 lot maintenance. That's 17 violations, and they continue to keep doing the same thing. There's currently 3 disabled vehicles in the driveway and 1 camper. How do we resolve this issue? And I'm going to go on and list 3 more here before you answer. At 1956 Montecito, we have 2 vehicles on jack stands and 1 in front of them pinned to the garage that have been there for a month. 2501 Newmark, they have 6 lot maintenance, 1 animal, 1 vehicle, 5 solid waste, a total of 13 violations. And the house is a mess right now. It's in the same condition it was probably violated for the first time. How do we resolve these issues? Do we keep going back? I mean, how many times, what is it, 100 times is enough, or?
I'm not aware of these directly,
I
as
know
you
you're
know.
not. I'm not.
Yeah, we try to take care of them as you let us know, so I'm gonna have to get more details on each of these, but.
And this is
it's,
just a limited few. I mean, there's probably 100 more out there.
I can say.
My ultimate question, Doc, and I don't mean to keep interrupting,
I get it.
is how does we resolve this? Do we make 1 violation and we come back a second time for the same violation, then they get fined?
I think
Should we do that?
We may have to, everybody gets a warning, of course, so
Right.
hopefully people are good neighbors.
Exactly.
I think part of it, which hopefully has changed now, is talking to staff at the end of the week, last week, was the concern of when can it be hard, when do they have to be soft? And they said it's over the years, depending on the leadership in my seat and the commission themselves, they've been told many times, be hard, and the next moment they were told, you're being too hard, you need to soften up, because commissioners are getting calls that we're being too aggressive, and then they change their uniforms and all the different things. But they know my position.
But we have policies and ordinances that dictate how they need to perform, is that correct?
My position is be hard, just to finish up what I was saying.
Okay.
But on the other side is, I think we need to look at the laws, the ordinances that we have in place. We discussed the cars, the vehicles, and they were very clear. The staff said, once a vehicle moves, we got to close it out. And I said, according to what? Our ordinance, the state law. Truck moves, it's not there anymore, you have to start over again, which goes back to your and my discussion that we had, I mean, the truck keeps coming back. Well, it does, but when they visually see it's gone, they start again. Well, to me, it's there, let's just move forward and go from there. But one of the staff said he believes it's, some of our ordinances that we have in place, we may want to tighten those up and move them around, and it might be that, as you're saying, implying, we may be working under some old rules that can certainly be updated and be stronger.
We won't
I think
call them
so.
rules, we'll call them guidelines set forth by somebody, but,
Yeah.
speaking of that, when is the row gonna come back to us? The row, parking in the row?
Hold on.
Right away.
There you go.
Yeah, so we have been working with your staff in planning and zoning and in code compliance regarding Chapter 66, which regulates traffic and vehicle regulations, and that is where the parking regulations for parking in the right-of-way are contained. We will be bringing that to you in August for a first reading. There was previous direction from the City Commission to prohibit parking within the right-of-way. There's currently an ordinance that ties it to time, which is a number of days, which is very difficult for your staff to enforce. So we're looking to tighten that up, and while we're in Chapter 66, make some additional changes to just bring those regulations up to date and make it more workable for your code compliance staff.
Awesome, thank you. That's it.
All right. Commissioner Howington? You're 3.
District.
She's in 4, now I'm going to 3, then 2. Yeah, that's why I said I'm going to,
I understand the concern. He tends to skip people next to him, so I understand the concern.
Still have it down. Guys, Commissioner Howington's on the floor. Come on.
I'd like to thank Code and Public Works for the work that was done out at Norwood Lake. That came up last week, and I really appreciate that. All the work that Public Works did with the storms, thank you for that. And John working on the impact fees to get us a shorter duration on the study, that's much appreciated. And to Gemma and Zach, thank you for all the work that you've done on 180. I know that that was kind of a challenging one, and it's really appreciated. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Commissioner Vila Vasquez. There you go.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I just want to send out my prayers and deepest condolences to the family of Bob Davis, very good friend who passed away, and my dancing partner. He will be missed. You will be missed, my friend. And the code violations, to piggyback on that, I'm so glad that they're going to do the sweeps again, because I could tell you that there are code violations out there that cannot be missed at all, at all. And when I hear residents calling me and I have to turn them away because they're not in my district, because they're being attacked for something that's happening behind their homes, because they're protecting their homes, and they're being called out by code enforcement. But meanwhile, you have all these residents that are like the residents that Commissioner Steve is talking about. I drive by my district and I can't even see the home sometimes, so many cars parked in the front. So I think it makes me want to think, are we picking on the wrong residents? When these violations are so visible, they're right there in front of your eyes, and they're not here in front of the magistrate, but you have somebody who's protecting their home from being flooded and being targeted and being told you need to take this down or whatever. I think it's very unfair. I'm not saying that the job is not being done correctly. I just think that sometimes when I look at these meetings and I weigh, one case with the other, it's like one case is down here and the other one is up there, and I just don't know how sometimes these violations are being judged. That's all I'm saying. Because if you drive around my district, I can name you one street that if you drive by it, whoever takes that road will be promoted of all the violations that will be given out. Right away, thank you for bringing it up, because I can tell you with all this rain coming down, there are cables under the right-of-way, there are pipes, and if you can look around, when you see a car that's been sitting in the right-of-way for a few days, you will tell by how deep their tires are, how long they have been parked on the right-of-way. And then we get complaints because there's some things going on underneath, flooding, or the pipes are broken or whatever. So yes, it's very important that we let these, the residents who are using the right-of-way for parking, that's not for parking. Especially during these days that are raining and stuff like that. I have a question for City Manager. I know that I've heard the answer before, but I'm going to keep can't even talk anymore. I'm going to keep bothering you, City Manager Doc, until I see it when I get off exit 111A. My welcome sign.
Yes, I believe we had brought it up back to the commission before. We are working with a branding company right now. We had a sign that was ready to go up and held off until we make sure we don't put something up and then turn around and say we should have put something different up. So that's going to be coming to the commission probably in the next couple of weeks, give or take. A design that we're looking at for the city to decide if you're interested in going in that direction.
Is it going to be different than the one by Walmart on Howland? Because that's a pretty nice one. I mean, it even matches with the center.
I don't know if we'll be bringing it to you, but we didn't want to go forward with something and then turn around and say, well, we shouldn't have done that. But
yeah, okay.
It's something very pretty, but it's in play.
The one by I know Joyce looking at me like, what? The one by Howland, Walmart, It's like the white stone. Pretty, oh, okay. I thought it was just, I thought it didn't have any electric, it was just, okay. Thank you, and everyone, thank you. Have a good night.
Commissioner Santiago?
I'll be really quick and brief. Back to school fair, back to school bash scheduled this Saturday, August 2nd at 9 a.m. at Dewey Boster. I invite each and every one of you, mayor, vice mayor, commissioners, please come out. It's a great time to celebrate, give out school supplies. The kids love it, and I'm sure the parents are excited that the kids are going back to school. So that's all I have today. Just one thing. Thanks.
Vice Mayor Harriet?
Thank you, Mayor. I had two things. Commissioner Lilly, I'll be on top of the Aldi issue. That's right on the edge of District 1, within the boundary, so I'll take lead if that's okay on that one. And then there was another question that Ms. Burgos had that I had the answer for, and I completely forgot.
It was about the Ordinance Review Committee, which
The Ordinance Review
will be
Committee,
back. Go ahead,
which is
finish.
going to, thank you, Mayor. It's going to start at the beginning of the fiscal year. So that should be coming up shortly in August, September, so that it can begin in the beginning of the fiscal year. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you, sir.
I just want to give Parks and Recs a huge shout out for their summer camp. I participated in one of their events, and man, they only gave me 5 kids. I don't know how they do it. I tell you what, I learned one big lesson. Maybe I can strive for a 3rd child, but I think I'll stop 5. This is too many. So all that to say that good job. They're doing an amazing job. The summer camp is great, and we need to continue it, make it bigger. Doc, I know you guys worked and made some changes, so kudos to that. Other than that, everybody have a great weekend or a great week. Meeting's adjourned.